Oh, check. Do you hear me? Talk. You can hear me? Oh, my bad. We are here for the grind. We go tell me this wrong. We are here, live at the reserve. A couple things to go over. We got the grind here November 6th through 9th. That's everybody's big tournament. There will be 1 hour levels with a $1,000 buy-in. We've got satellites running on Thursdays until then. As you see, the 6th and the 7th, you can pick one of those days for day 1. And everybody continuing, day 2 will be on the 8th. And then we'll be playing all the way down to day 3. Will be 10% of the players or 10 levels will be starting on the 9th. Here's the full flyer on that. And all the action will be streamed right here, live at the reserve. Now, what's up, everybody? We are here for the mixed game today. Me, Frenchie in the box. Vic will be here later. Joe G. We've been setting up this mixed game here monthly. And we're excited to bring it to you here today. See what the, give you a little mix up here. A little break up from the normal no-limit hold'em out here. And everybody knows that the 2025 Fall Series is just around the corner, starting on Sunday, November 9th, kicking off with a $20K guaranteed free roll. That's right. $0 gets you in that tournament at 2 p.m. There are $20 rebuys. We're going to have a tournament every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all the way down to, Thursday we'll be starting the main event, $250,000 guaranteed mega bounty main event. You see that buy-in there, $340, 10% advance to day 2. And there will be $1,000 bounties on day 2. As with most of the tournaments, that will have a $2,000 multi-bag bonus. And day 2 there is on Sunday. We will also have a tournament for anybody who is not lucky enough to make that day 2 or is busted. $30,000 guaranteed for the fall closer, 2 p.m. That's a $200 buy-in. Those tournaments have been going great. The closers are as big as any of the tournaments before. And don't forget our annual Black Chip Bounty Tournament on Black Friday. $100,000 guaranteed tournament. Another $340 buy-in. It's 30-minute levels on that one. $100 bounties with a 40K starting stack. Once again, that's on Black Friday, November 28th. It's a noon start time. Doors open at 3. And as we see, we're going to have some satellites for that. $75 satellites gets you in on Wednesday, November 26th at 6 p.m. And again, today we're going to be doing a little bit something different from the normal No Limit streams. We have a mixed game here. Here are some of the players here. And just a little insight on how this works. Every time the button starts on seat 1, and every time that button comes around to seat 1, the game is going to change. We've got plaques right there in the middle. That's so that the players can see what we're going on. And this first game we're going to be playing deuce to 7 triple draw. As we see, here's a little rundown on how the game works. Everybody started with the traditional 5-card draw. This is that, but you're looking for the worst possible hand. You're going to get dealt 5 down cards. It's going to be 4 betting rounds after 5 code cards are dealt. And the entire pot goes to the lowest hand, no qualifier. So the best hand, your straights and flushes count against you in this. Best possible hand, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. And as you see there, we get a little bit of inception here. We recorded this earlier today. Me and Joe sitting right next to each other. We started at noon today. This recording is from 1 to 5. And then we're here in the box with you. And here in the first time, Joe, what's up, buddy?
Hey, thanks for having me, Frenchie. This is quite the thrill for me to get to come in and do this. Big mixed game proponent, very passionate about trying to grow it as much as we can in this area. And just getting it started. This is our, I think, 3rd game at the reserve since we really kicked this back off back on Labor Day weekend, and got to bring it to the stream for you guys tonight. So something different. We're going to do our best to walk you guys through it and really explain what's going on, why guys might be thinking what they're doing. We'll obviously have special insight into our own play, but I know Frenchie is like me and we'll be very critical of ourselves when it's appropriate. But yeah, again, thanks so much.
Little shout out there. Big Papa's already in the channel. That's Mike Flynn. He played in this with us earlier today. He's going to be in the 3rd spot there, starting with $900. And we want to invite the chat, especially in this one, to talk with us a little bit here on this one. Again, we're trying something new. We welcome any questions, however advanced. We're not super advanced, but if you have advanced questions, we can try to answer those. Anything too simple about how anything works, any confusion that might be happening, please hit us up with those earlier. Me and Joe are gonna be here for about an hour into this before we get into the hands here. Vic will be joining us after that, and hopefully me and Vic can have a little back and forth, as he's not really a mixed game player. Hopefully talk on behalf of the chat and get some good points across. But as we see here, we're looking for the worst possible hand again. So everybody started with 5 cards, and we get this far shot. What's happening now is it's in between rounds. Everybody's going to declare how many cards they want to discard.
And that's declared in order, so the position, not only in the betting, but in the drawing, is a really key part to any of these triple draw games, or really any poker game.
Yeah,
Position is king.
yeah. Just like it does use a button like the flop games in this, so all the action is in order. And here he is. Here's Brian pitching the cards now to the fellas.
Big Papa improves there to a rough, as we call a rough 9. When we say rough, we mean he's got a made 9, but it's got the next 3 highest cards below it. So he's going to lose to pretty much any other made 9 by the final draw. We see that Cody there's drawing live against that hand with a 9-7 if he were to hit a 5, 4, or 3 on the final. I think we have 1 draw left. I don't know where we jumped in.
Yeah, this is the second draw right now.
So yeah, he's drawing live. Certainly, Dan is drawing live with 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the thing about this game is straights and flushes are bad. You don't want to make a straight in this game. So not as enticing, even though he's got the 4 lowest cards you can have. A 6 is no good, so he has limited cards to improve with.
Right, yeah, that's one thing to think about, drawing smooth and drawing rough on that kind of things. And then as well we see Matisow already made his hand there.
Yeah, and Mike went ahead and improved to a good 8-7. So he's definitely got the equity lead here heading into the final draw.
One last thing to clarify on this. This is limit poker here. So there's 4 betting rounds. We're playing 10-20 limit. So that means the first round of betting is in $10 increments. The big blind is $10, and it's either $10 to call, $20 to raise, or of course you can fold. And then once you get to the second draw, which is where we're at now, so the first 2 betting rounds are $10. The last 2 betting rounds are $20.
And we see that after Matisow there, passes on his opportunity to draw. That's going to prompt Big Papa to go ahead and break his 9-8, his rough 9, and try to draw to improve to hopefully win. Now, he doesn't know he's drawing dead here. Hard to know that when you can't see the cards, but no matter what card he catches here, Matisow's smooth 8-7, his 8-7, then the 3 lowest cards available. Since he's drawing to an 8-7, he's not going to be able to catch up. So he does not want to catch his card here, and that's probably a good card for him against a Pat on the second draw. Cody makes a 9-7. Now you see the pot size as it grows. We've now got 120 out there, and it just goes check through. So nobody had to face a pot odds decision there on that final spot there. So Matisow is going to take it down there. You see the 8-7, 8 being the lowest card anybody made. So no matter what else, he's got that pot won. But yeah.
There he goes, taking down the first pot. And then just one last thing, too. If you see these little yellow buttons, they traditionally use them in the NO-NIT game on Thursday. We mean no offense by it or calling them a nit, but in the triple draw games, there's not as many cards in the deck, and as such, 2 players behind the button each time sit out. So they just kind of move those buttons around to remind the dealer not to deal them in. But as we see here, entire pot, lowest hand, aces play high, straights and flushes do count, and then once again, the best possible hand, the wheel in this game, is the 7-5-4-3 deuce.
I think we had it there in the first hand, but we do have a contingency in place. If we do run out of cards, the dealer will never hand out the final card in the deck. He'll burn if necessary and then gather no one's discards. We don't want anybody to get the same card back they just pitched, but anything in the muck will get reshuffled to create a new stub to finish out. Typically the final draw is usually when that's needed.
Was that the only time it shuffled?
I think so.
I don't remember another time it shuffled. That's kind of wild.
It tells you this game wasn't as good as we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I guess so.
The more reshuffling of the deck at the end you see, the more you want to jump in that game.
Yeah, that's true. One thing, again, I said a lot of the mixed games, they play 7-handed. We keep the triple draw games to 6 to keep that to a minimum.
And so everyone sits out 2 hands per round. It's equal. Everybody pays the blinds. Everybody's on the button. Mm-hmm. Everybody sits out, so there's no advantage there. It just kind of allows us to... Oh, and we see Frenchie.
All right, so here's the hand I want to skip. This is clearly my worst hand I played. But Joe, just what was in my head is completely wrong. But Joe raised under the gun here. So in triple draw, that does lean towards a good hand, but not as much as I gave him credit for. And the real reason why breaking my 9 is atrocious is, like we said before, I'm drawing rough. So a 4 is not even good for me. There's only 2 cards I can do to improve, and I'm really just got in my own head in this one, and I don't know what else to say about it.
Yeah,
and you're going to see that
I'm
how
definitely
good
starting
I
off opening it up a little wide there for sure under the gun.
A hair, but like honestly, it's looking at your hand. It's like you could have opened a hair worse, maybe even, but even better hands, like I still was ahead of.
And if it was just you and me heads up, I would have played this hand differently. But when I get a call in the middle, in position, I have to obviously.
The other draw was kind of part of it too. It's like with a triple draw, a 9's not nearly as good.
Right.
Like in comparison,
you see a lot of 8s. Maybe
you see a lot of 8s in triple
final draw. Yeah.
Right. We'll see that when we get to the single draw, how much difference the hands are.
Yes.
But as we see, while everybody draws terribly, I draw slightly less terribly.
Nobody's interested in betting at this and probably just taking it down and in the hand.
I'm declaring that I played the hand terribly, so you know, you could have picked up on that tell and maybe bluffed me off there.
Yeah.
I might have called on the river though. Yeah, that's right. A jack. I did end up decent. Jack, queen, king. Yeah, that's funny.
Now Mike has a spot here where you almost
that's
certainly
right.
want to bluff.
He had the straight. That's right.
Yeah, you're going to want to bluff that hand because you have a straight. You're never going to show that hand down. Pot not that big. I mean, you're not laying yourself the best price, but you're going to be less. Your opponents are going to be less inclined to call with the pot being smaller.
So your bluff spots are limited in limit a little bit more, but sure.
I think all three of us
that might have been
we'd
a
like
spot.
to have that hand back.
Yeah, all three of us. Now that I'm looking at it, I agree with that. And this is Dom's favorite thing to say sometimes. Mattisau was always actually in position to bluff there. He was the first one who had the opportunity there on the river.
First to stab, right.
And he had the hand for the blockers. Like, those are all cards he had that traditionally you want in your hand.
Yes.
Just not in a row.
Yeah, that's a key part of this game. If you start off with 2 or 3 or more of the key low cards, the 2s, the 3s, the 4s, that's, your opponents can't catch those cards. So that's going to be your prime opportunity to get in there and really get after it a little bit.
Perfect. All right, here we go again. I'll just give you a little rundown of the players here. I got Cody in seat 1. From Indiana as well. We got Mattisau in seat 2. People have seen him around in a couple of tournaments. Mike Thompson. Seat 3, that's Big Papa. We'll see him in the chat. That's Mike Flynn. Me, Frenchie in seat 4. Joe's in seat 5. That's Dan there with the Cubby shirt. And then we got T-Bold. We see him in the chat. That's Tom there in seat 8. And in seat 9, Josh. He's come and played with us once before because somebody we kind of randomly picked up. Been great to play with him.
Yeah, and Dan and I also from Fort Wayne. You mentioned Cody.
Oh, yeah.
So the three of us are kind of the Fort Wayne representation here today. So when I created the Facebook group that kind of organizes this, I made it very clear that we're Indiana, Michigan, Ohio. We're doing the tri-state thing, trying to get as many regional players interested in mixed games as we can. It's not just localized.
Yeah, that's funny because when Dan came for the first time, it said you came with you, so I knew Indiana, but I've seen him around before, and I remember you guys, so I didn't quite equate him with that. But yes,
yeah,
also
played a lot of your tournaments. He's made some deep runs in some of your tournaments.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, just once again on that Facebook group, mixed players of Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio. Anybody check that out. We'll be able to add you. Just even if you want to just see kind of what we're going on, what kind of play games, and maybe if in your area you want to start your own game, that's a perfect place to talk to people.
And you can always call the club, check the app, the newly formed app they have. Once we get a date set and we get the board set. It'll reflect on there, so you'll know when a game's coming up, and certainly you can always call in and talk to one of the staff here to ask when the next mixed game is, and we'd love to have you come in.
Yeah, that app is great. Anybody who hasn't checked that out already can check out whatever tournaments and cash games are going. Get yourself on the list, and even if you have money in your account here, sign up for tournaments. But as we see here on the left, once we go heads up, here's a perfect rundown of the action that's happened so far. We're on the third draw here. Joe's been pat since the start, huh?
Yeah,
first draw,
I was
draw.
dealt this butte right.
Yeah,
from the
that's
jump.
this one.
3-bet pre, got a couple bets in, and then of course he can't. Oh, we have one draw left. That's right.
Yeah,
okay.
that was the second draw.
So he's drawing fairly smooth here with the 7-5-4-3, drawing to the nuts. If he hit a deuce, he hit a king, and that's it.
He didn't know how bad he was drawing, but yeah, that was an easy continue, even though he only actually had one card to win. Easy continue for Tom. It's not often you're dealt that good of a hand. That's an ultra premium.
That was a blessing from
yeah,
above.
that's something that can stand up to drawing 3 times. And we'll note the differences again between single and triple draw, but a hand in triple draw that can stand pat on the first draw and actually withstand somebody drawing 3 times is premium.
And there's a big gulf of a difference between an 8-7 and an 8-6. As you play this game more,
Certainly.
you'll see that where you're going to be able to beat some 8s that get made on the river. So that's a beautiful hand to have to start with.
Yeah, and we see there he was drawn for it. So, yeah, even if Tom did get the 8, an 8-7 would have been no good.
And that's why I value bet on the end. I remember thinking that in game that hopefully he hit. I think I even said it out loud to him. I was hoping you'd hit your 8 there.
Mm-hmm.
What a great group of guys, though. We had fun today.
This has really been special. Well, we'll have somebody coming in later, too, in a few hours that we'll see. But everybody who's come in and for these reserve games, I was a little skeptical at first. These mixed games are tough to get going sometimes, and they've really gone great.
Yeah, we've got some momentum.
Yeah. We've got some momentum, but here we go. Tom limping in. I got to protect that button there. A little skeptical 2-card draw, but for 1 bet, certainly fine.
Okay, everybody's going to declare now. We've got quite a few cards coming out in the first draw, which you're going to see in a lot of deuce to 7 lower limit games. You're going to see a lot of the drawing early, and then we'll see what happens here on this first draw. Once the bets double, that's when you're really going to start to see the truth serum come out, because you're getting great pot odds at almost any point early in the hand, but once the bets double, you have to take that into consideration.
Yeah, and here's a little something from the No Limit streams that kind of we talk about a lot is, the down betting now and people making really small bets on the flop, sometimes quarter pot or even less sometimes, and that's kind of what is happening here. With more hands, they're smaller bets. You can check, you can call, float them, maybe set up a bluff later. Multi-way pots make that tougher, or just make your hand in a backdoor way, and then when you've got real draws, you can make the proper decisions on the big bet streets.
So here's the issue. I raised on the second draw with a draw to the nuts, the 7-4-3 deuce. Got called, and I kind of have no choice when I hit an ace but to try to bluff at it. I'm not going to be able to ever show down an ace 3 ways. Hope my opponents caught bad. They both got good, and T-Bold's going to benefit. We have 1 draw left. That is fun to keep track of.
Yeah, there's still 1 draw left.
That's fun to keep track of. Okay, so after the first draw, I had the draw to the nuts.
Yeah.
I remember I bricked this. That's where I was getting to here.
The old, it's still a semi-bluff on the turn, though.
Anytime you have a wheel draw and you brick it, that sticks in the memory a little bit.
Yeah, and needless to say, that's a premium real draw, too, as we see a 5 or a 6 just fills in there and doesn't make a straight.
Yeah, once I had a pat behind me, there's just no reason to actually bluff on after the final
with
draw.
the pat, I tried for the 8. I made a 10. Joe paired. Tom's taking it down. Nice little pot there. As we see now, just talking with players, too, about limit poker and stuff, they're always worried about the action. They always feel like the game is so slow. Personally, I think it's the complete opposite. These limit games, these mixed games, this is where the action is. Everybody's in the middle of every hand. You're not having to fold every single hand. You've got the smaller bets to be able to play. Hands go more multi-way pots. This is where the action is.
Yes, you'll see some big pots created by the end of the stream for sure.
And what up, Darren? Got him in the chat. Yeah, check it out on the mixed game group players of Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio. Darren's trying to start something up there. A little horse game, that would be great. That's starting to gain popularity. Everybody knows the horse variant. Well, mixed game players are titled to HOLDEM. So, Thorse, Triple Draw, Omaha, Stud 8, and Raz.
There's not a lot of things that'll get me in the car for 3 hours these days, but that might be that might be worth it to.
Is it that far for you?
From Fort Wayne.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be down there one of these days, and we can't wait.
All right, folded to me late position with 3 to an 8 here. I'm going to always open the button here, put some pressure on the blinds.
So here's a question for you, Joe. Impossible to pin this down, but where do you think the advantage lays with the button in hands like this in comparison to No Limit Hold'em?
I think it's as critical as obviously on a smaller scale. You worry about opening up your stack in No Limit and getting stacked out of position in certain spots, getting in bad spots for a lot of money at once. But in this game, when you're making just dozens and even hundreds of small decisions throughout the course of a session, it's massive to be in position and get to see what your opponent does. Again, as I mentioned in the draw games, not only with the betting but with the drawing, to get to know is my opponent now done drawing? Is he still drawing multiple cards? You can really plan it. Right here is a perfect example. Like once he draws a couple and then just pats and I don't improve, it's just time to give up on that. I'm able to see that, get away from it cheaply without bluffing off a bunch of more chips there.
Yeah, so I mean, honestly, I totally agree. Maybe even more important. So like each individual bet is more important in these limits because you're not always making a small investment to get these really huge payouts that occasionally come in. And,
yeah, it's hard to get it back. Right.
It's hard to get it back when you make a mistake, and the mistakes come more when you're out of position. All right, got me and Joe sent out this hand. Again, each round we're going to be playing a completely different game here. Right now we're on the triple draw. Got about 3 more hands left in this. Shout out to Kevin. There's Big Papa coming back. Yeah, the button premium advantage in this. I think I want to think about that even more because you really give away a lot of. It's easier to betray your hand in a game like this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really hard. Yeah, when you're checking and trying to keep the pot small, it's hard to.
You get more information
really
in these games than you get. Hold 'em once your 2 cards are set. Everybody's playing the board and how ranges interact with the board specifically. But when there isn't a board and you're not staring at any additional information, the only information you do have is what has my opponent done when it's his turn to act first. It's really a big advantage. Right.
Plus, the last note on the button is, I feel like, especially No Limit Hold'em specifically, you get check 2 on the button so much. There's a huge blunder when you bet and get check raised and have to call a hand and end up losing. But in this, it still hurts, but the check raise is 2 big bets.
Yeah.
So you're not. You need to be able to push that edge on the river as much as you can, and in my opinion, you quickly figure out who is capable of the check raise pretty quick there on the river.
You're going to see more quote-unquote donk bets in these games. There's less checking in flow, like has become the standard in No Limit Hold'em. Kind of acting in the flow of the aggression pre-flop or earlier in the hand. So you're just going to see people lead out because you want to make sure that it can be a disaster trying to to not squeak out a bet on a street when you do improve. And people think, well, can't you just overfold? But it's like you're getting laid such a price. That's the push and pull with these limit mix games. You don't really want to give up.
In a perfect world, you'd be able to mix some bluffs in there and stuff. It's easier said than done in limit.
Yeah.
But in a perfect world, you'd be mixing in some bluffs with your bet outs. But
our game is normally played 6-12 here at the Reserve. That's our standard game. This is a little special, little bump up in the stakes, try to make it a little more exciting for the viewers tonight. So I was kind of really curious to see what kind of effect that was going to have on our regular players that are used to the big bet being 12 instead of 20. I didn't see much of an effect. Maybe a little bit early.
Yeah, it's a little bit. Yeah. This came in, it played perfectly fine. But yeah, anybody looking interested, our normal game is going to be run at 6-12. Anybody looking to get in, that's an excellent game to start. Friendly players. That's one thing I actively push against in Las Vegas. Some of the mixed game players are. We'll leave it at grumpy.
There's even some talk of T-Bolt there hosting during the week game, which I'm not really available to come up for very often as a 9 to 5 weekend warrior type player. But he's talking about having maybe even a smaller limit game. We were talking about that after the game broke before we came in here tonight, and maybe including some in kind of enticements for players, some kind of cool promos he might run himself.
Yeah.
So I would love that to get a 4-8 game going, maybe even a 3-6. You know. Just if anybody wants to try it for the first time, even if 6-12 seems big, come in, call the club, find out. We're going to get that going. Definitely join the Facebook group. We will have all that information so you guys know when not only the bigger games are going, like the stream, but also maybe even the very beginner games as well, so you can dip your toes in. Once you start playing, Eli, I don't know about you, but like it's so rare to have somebody sit down in a mixed game and just get up and never come back. Like once you start playing, it can be intimidating.
Yeah.
I know I was intimidated. I learned most of these games playing at Resorts World in Vegas a couple summers ago. I mean, I've always been interested in stud and other games, but they have 20, 25 games in the mix in those mixed games in Vegas, and you're literally learning on the fly. But they have a 4-8 mix there. You want to be able to try some stuff out without it costing too much of your bankroll. So that's kind of the mission here as well. We want to grow the community and have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, that's absolutely accurate. That is the main goal with us having this stream, with us doing this game beforehand and announcements with the Facebook group. We want people who have even thought about it. This is how we grow up playing poker, honestly. That when you first learn, like I learned on my grandma's lap how to play 7-card stud. That was the family game and stuff. 5-card draw.
Penny. My dad always had a big jar of pennies. We'd dump them out, and divide them up, and play 5-card draw. And,
that's exactly it.
Very few players, at least of our age and older, started off playing Hold'em. It wasn't a thing back in the day. So you've played mixed games whether you realize it or not. So
that is absolutely true.
Can recommend jumping in. You want to talk a little bit about like the mixed community and how it's kind of different than just your standard kind of Hold'em casino game? I don't know if one of the shots has it or not, but there's literally a cooler in the background.
Yeah.
Very common to see one of the players kind of become the group mom, for lack of a better term, and bring in food, bring in drinks. Everybody.
That's T-Bold for us.
T-Bold for us is the man. Bring in Manette sandwiches. Local shop here, delicious. I wolfed down half one before we came in here to do the stream tonight. But yeah, I mean, just stuff like that. They'll bring pizzas in. I mean, you see this even in Vegas. You know, they'll do.
Certainly.
They just go in on a pizza. It's kind of different. You're going to notice some of that. That little more extra camaraderie, a little more of an inclusive community than a bunch of GTO robots staring at each other, trying to remember their pre-flop charts in a Hold'em game.
Yeah.
In 2025.
That's what's great about these mixed games. Yeah, the games are constantly evolving, constantly changing. There's nobody who can come up with a solved strat for every one of these games. Everybody's got their best games that they play. They've got their worst games that they play. This group specifically just chugs through the worst games and make sure everybody plays when they got it. So it really is a good group. The camaraderie is good. And then I remember talking to Joe about this when we first started. I think it helps my no limit game. It just everybody has gotten the burnout from playing no limit Hold'em constantly. You come into these mixed games even just a couple of times a month. You start playing them a little bit. It just refreshes you and gives you a revitalization to go for those big tournaments.
Hold'em feels fresh again.
Yeah,
now it's something different.
Yeah, it does not kill. It does not kill your all the action for the no limit, but it really breaks up the monotony. And one thing I know, we just give one shout out to the two dealers here, Nick and Brian, two professionals. I mean, everybody who's helped us out with this mixed game has done great, but Nick and Brian came in a little bit early and dealt this to us during the day when really they're traditionally not even open. So shout out to them. Shout out to Jim and Marissa. We taking a little risk on us, giving us this platform to hopefully build everything around the tri-state area, but obviously specifically here at the Reserve. We're going to go smaller with 4-8. We're going to try for bigger games as well.
Yeah, and if you appreciate this, let them know. I mean, it really helps us. Even if you're not interested in playing, but you like watching this occasionally as something different, the feedback definitely helps us to convince them to let us keep doing this on a semi-regular basis.
Yeah, this certainly isn't going to be a mainstay on the channel or anything. We're kind of hoping, internally, maybe for once a quarter or so here on the stream, just to give everybody a little rundown on how things have been going. But these Saturdays, the streams have been changing up a little bit. Next Saturday, make sure you're tuning in. 2550 No Limit Hold'em is going to be on the stream next week. We'll have a little more info possibly later in the week about the lineup for that. But if you're looking for a big game, next week is the time to tune in.
All right, you see us mixing we have the placards there that helps the players keep track of what game we're playing. We've completed an orbit of deuce to 7. Now we're going to move on to Omaha 8 or better.
Yeah, I'm trying not to remember the hands and go too far in the future, but yes, as we see, triple draw is one of the slower games just as far as how long it takes to play. There's 3 draws and discards every time, but now we've moved on to a game most people know a little bit better, Omaha High-Low. That's 8 or better. Everybody gets 4 whole cards. You must use exactly 2 from your hand and 3 for the board. Now that's for the high and for the low. You can use different cards from each, and the pot is split between the best hand and the best qualifying low hand. The qualifier there, low hand must be 8 high or lower to qualify. And as we see the nuts here, royal flush for the high, and ace 2, 3, 4, 5. Straights and flushes don't count against you. That's the wheel. That would be the nuts for the low.
Yeah, this one you'd love to make both. You'd love to have a straight and a low. That's a beautiful hand in this game.
And as we see here, Frenchie opening up with the low bag. One of my favorite terms. You got the 4 cards. There's no ace. There's no pair, but they're all 8 or lower. So
it's
not the most premium.
It is double suited, so you know.
What's that?
It is double suited.
It is double suited. Cut me some slack.
Makes it a
my 8 high and my 4 high flush. And I'm only getting 3-bet by a better high and a better low, but we'll see what the flop is.
You're pretty much never going to see an ace deuce folded pre in this game, whether that's correct or not.
Correct.
Ace deuce is going to very often make the best possible low hand, even if by the river there's an 8-7-6 on the board, ace 2 is the nut low. If it's a 5-3 and a 7, ace deuce is the nut low. So unless an ace or a deuce ends up coming and there's a qualifying low, ace deuce is always going to be the nut low. That's why you'll see that hand called for multiple bets, even with not much else going on. And you see Josh here has a beaut. He's got an ace to go with his ace deuce, so he's got a pair of aces. He's got a nut suit to the ace 10. He's got high end possibilities with the ace 10, and yeah, none of that mattered.
Yeah, see, here's one that just kind of got weird for Josh, though, right? So, like, the limit did kind of get him on this one. So I check raise him on the flop. I've got the nuts. He's got the aces. He's got the backdoor low. He could still be good in some cases, so it's an easy call for him on the flop.
Sure.
And then the turn comes, brings him the low draw, and while he's not feeling good about any of it, and then when he bricks the river, now the pot's so big, and he just kind of has to call in case I'm snowing there or anything.
Out, right.
But I just got to point out that of all the flops, that was the best flop for me. If the straight was higher than on the high end, I wouldn't have had the nuts, and if it was any more on the low end, there would have been more cards to the low. So you don't want these middle cards like I played necessarily, because even when you make the high on those ones, the lows are coming in for sure.
I remember thinking in game, the pre-flop aggression in your position, like how do you have an 8-7 here ever?
Right.
And then you taught us about the low back, which I haven't heard that term before.
I'm not saying it like it was a super bad play by me either. I was the first one in the pot, so the open makes sense, and then you get 3-bet and your pot odds get too good at that point. But I obviously got really lucky on the flop. There's another one. Cody opening up on this one.
Nope, Josh, actually. Cody got out of the way.
Oh, Cody, it's actually on Cody,
yep.
Yeah. That's
so
what
again, suited aces for Josh for a second hand in a row here. These can be dangerous. We'll see how you got to get the right kind of flops with this, with the high-low in play.
Yeah, it can be dangerous. He's got the suited ace, but that ace 6 is going to be in trouble a lot of times.
It might turn on the aggression with the
here's
draw,
this one.
The open ender and the flush draw. So he's got a lot of ways to improve here, and we are able to have the equities here. And the first number you see, 50%, 15%, 35%. That's the high equity, and then the right hand side is the low equity. So since Frenchie cannot make a low by the river now at this point, or can't make one that would win, I suppose is why you have 0 there. You're going to go ahead and duck.
I am thrilled we have it at that, because I was second guessing myself, as everybody's seen. I folded king 4 there. It does rate very likely to be the best hand for the situation. But as we saw from that, I was stone dead on the low.
Yep.
So I'm only playing for half of the pot, and I only had 35% equity, even if I had the best hand. Now, as we see, I would have held on for dear life.
I happened to see, as you were folding, I happened to see your 2 cards, and I commented to you, like, you're going to have to explain that one, because folding 2 pair, not common in a lot of variants, but I think that was definitely the correct play there.
Yeah.
You're going to get run down so often, and like you said, that half of the pot, the low half is not available to you. So
that was the issue. If I had like some sort of a low draw too, I certainly would have played it more likely. But as we see here, Matisau bricks the world, and Josh is going to take down the whole pot, and I see that I would have still only had half, but
that's your best case scenario. So every bet you put in after that, your best case scenario is to get half of that
correct
back.
Right. Not where you want to be, as you see people difference of opinion somewhat for the best possible hand, but you'll see I have it at one point. The ace 2 3 4 double suited. That's my favorite hand in this. You might want to say ace ace deuce 3. That's probably better in reality. So you got more of a high hand, but there are several ultra premium hands still.
Yeah, the ability to be uncounterfeitable, as we call it. So just naked ace deuce. If the deuce comes, we're going to see that happen a lot today. Actually, that was kind of a running joke at the table about the deuce on the turn on a regular basis coming out, but in the high-low games. But the ability to have an uncounterfeitable low, where even if one of those cards does come, it's not the end of your low possibilities. That's a huge thing here.
Yeah, that's one thing we haven't even touched on is the counterfeit. So, yeah, just think about the boards. 8-7-6. I got ace deuce, and Joe's got deuce tray. And then if an ace comes, I get counterfeit, and he's got the best hand by
nut
hitting
low, and then now you don't have the nut low.
Yep.
And you have a much weakened low at that point.
Yep.
Because
you make a pair and
any 2 cards lower than the 8-7 in that example, 8-7-6, are going to make a better low when that ace comes out.
Here we go. We got a hand just limped around. Loose call for me in the small blind there, but for a half a bet, I'm in there. Would have never thought I had the low that locked up there, but I guess I did.
Yeah, and I just get away from the ace-queen there with not much else going on. As you see, I'm already behind.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to really draw to, so you just, again, just trying to acclimate some of the Hold'em players of, like, you know, top pair, even two pair. If that's all you've got, that's not really enough to continue in most spots. You don't want to be putting bets in there, really unsure where you're at, and with no ability to improve.
All right, here we go. Still in the middle of this Omaha high-low, 8 or better. Again, we're playing 10-20 limit. The blinds are $5 and $10 to start. First two rounds, the betting increments are $10. Bet 10, raise to 20, 3-bet to 30, so on and so forth. There is a 4-bet cap. 1 bet and 3 raises makes it $40 cap pre-flop. And if at any time a street starts heads up, there is unlimited bets at that time. So let's say me and Joe here were heads up. I bet 20, he raises to 40. We could go back and forth $20 increments until we're all in.
Yep.
But have to start the round and as the heads up to do that.
Would you say, Eli, that Omaha high-low specifically is probably most players' first foray into a second game besides Hold'em?
Certainly most. I mean, everybody it might be like a somewhat of an age thing. Maybe an older crowd, maybe stud.
Yeah.
But just one note on this too on our stream, we the production required a download. We should be having that next time we stream, but we got no stud games in this mix. But yeah, everybody's other game than Hold'em is definitely either stud, but almost everybody is Omaha high-low. Those games are spread, across the country a little bit more often.
Yeah, I told the anecdote at the table that my first ever trip to Las Vegas, I was very, very interested in playing Omaha high-low. This was 20 years ago now, and I got the phone book out from the bedside table and just started going alphabetical order every poker room in town because we didn't really have Poker Atlas or Bravo back then. And just asked, do you spread Omaha high-low? And I got about 10 to 15 no's, and then I got to the O section, and the Orleans picked up, and they said we have 3 games going with a 4th list. So I went there. I ended up working there for 5 years to kind of cap that story. I ended up moving to Vegas and working there, and just being around these games has always been a thing of mine. But, yeah, I think that's the one that, like you said, gets spread the next most behind Hold'em.
Yeah, definitely. There's probably different pockets here and there that have a little thing stud.
TOLEDO,
I know Jersey's still a stud place.
Sure. Yep.
But yeah, Omaha, it's still that way. Yeah, it seems to be the houses that have the high-low have a few tables going, and then other places have nothing.
So we see the deuce 6 making the low hand here, and the aces. Did they chop this one 2 ways? Yeah. So they are going to chop that one down. The 2-6 good for the low, and the better high.
All right. Thanks again for joining us.
Oh, yeah. Is it easy to get a seat? I see that comment come in from Steve. Absolutely. We're looking to build this community. If there's a week where Eli's not available or I'm not available or any of the guys, we build these lists. We put it out there on the Facebook group. And it's kind of first come first serve. We get you RSVP'd right away if you're interested in that date and time. So yeah, just look for you can always call the club, find out if there's a currently scheduled mixed game. If so, they'll throw you on the list. If not, you can always reference our little group Facebook page we put together for the mixed game players of Indiana, Michigan, Ohio. If you just search mixed game poker players IN, that should come right up in your search. But yeah, jump in there. We always make announcements out ahead. As soon as we have a date solidified, I throw it up there and we start getting RSVPs. We have a group text thread going now for anybody who's going to become a regular, so they can find out when the games are. And we just want to build enough of a roster to always have a game. That's kind of the idea.
Yep.
So absolutely, jump in.
And last point, just too easy to get a seat. We have already discussed this, and we're going to break into 2 tables as soon as we can for people. So anytime there's 11 or 12 people, we'd rather play 6 and 5-handed than play 8, an 8-handed with 2 people sitting out during the draws and people waiting. So anytime you're on the Facebook group, we're looking to get more tables going as well.
Yeah, that's one of the great things. You can play these games more short-handed and not feel like you're short-handed. Like 5 or 6-handed is perfectly good for these limit mix games. Oh yeah, so let me dial it up here.
Just going up into this hand here. We got some action going between Cody and Tom. Just want to note that no low is possible here. There's only one card that's 8 or lower on the board, so it is only Omaha High, and Cody filling up there on the river is going to take that one down. Take down the whole pot. Got a question from the chat here for you, Joe.
Okay.
Did you say or did you not want your nickname to be Chainsaw? We were a little confused there.
No, I don't.
No.
I don't think I volunteered for that.
So, we must have got mixed up
I think
somewhere
we were
in the
comparing
line,
which one of us is more like Chainsaw, and we were going through our diet, our propensity to knit it up as much as possible, and yeah, no, that's not really. There's only one Chainsaw. Let's put it that way. I know T-Bull told me that he's heading out to Vegas in a couple weeks here for the Chainsaw mixed series at the Orleans. Very cool that we're seeing entire tournament series now put together just solely based around mixed players. I went on the WPT cruise last year, and Matt Savage was the tournament director for all the events there, and he's a very, very avid mixed game enthusiast himself. So we had mixed all the Giant Madness, the high roll, the 25K high roller, the $1,100 WPT Prime. We had a nice couple of $600 horse 08 events. He made sure, and of course, I don't want to brag. I made 2 final tables during those, finished 4th in both. And Matt Savage himself played the 08, knocked me out, so I'm still a little salty. But he gave me a T-shirt on the way off the boat, so that was very nice of him.
Yeah, they are expanding. Everybody seems eager to, bring in new business and have different games going. Was ready to call the action on that one, but we took it down pre-flop.
Won't see a lot of that tonight, but occasionally.
Yeah, it does come up once in a while. It's tough to, unlike in Hold'em, sometimes, you want to play some suspect hands, maybe, that you're getting a good price on. It could do a few things. You're getting a good price. You can win a big pot later on. Sometimes you don't want people to think how tight you are. But in this, when there's trash that, you just can't dig yourself out of. So even for these small good pot odds, you just have to let it go.
So few flops are going to be advantageous to your hand. It's just not worth it. But some of the marginal spots you'll see when you're getting an immediate 2.5 to 1, and then you're going to be getting good odds on the inevitable flop bet or first draw bet. So you are able to draw a little deeper into the hands, unlike in the Hold'em or the big bet games where you're going to get blasted off your equity quite a bit on flops or early in the hand. So this one you kind of can open up, especially when you're in the big blind, and just getting an excellent price. And you'll see a lot of that where the big blind's going to complete with some very questionable hands. But it just depends on the situation, the players you're playing against, how much are they going to make you pay for it as well. How aggressive are they?
Here comes the flop. This one was a 4-way limp pot here.
Interesting. We got 2 people flop the same 2 pair here.
Yeah, that's right.
Josh has a club draw to go with his. That's quite a nice little advantage there over the other current best hand. So, yep, those 2 end up going to the turn. Oh, okay. He's got 9s up now. I think somebody just folded 2 9s as well on the flop. So we've now got a pretty big advantage here on the highs. You see 88%. And not much hope for the low. And it looks like 9s and 4s are going to hold up as the best hand of the river.
Did he bluff this one?
He did. Look at Tom go. Proud of him.
T-balled. Yeah, there you go. See, it can happen.
It down. I love it.
And you think
we
about
got
it.
that reveal in game. That's lovely. I love it.
$120 pot. So by that $20, he was getting laid 6 to 1 to bet the $20. And got
laying
the fold out of it.
Himself a great price.
Yep, laying himself a great price.
Bluff does not have to work very often. When you're laying yourself such a great price on the bluff. So if anybody tells you can't bluff in limit, show them that hand right there.
Yeah,
you absolutely can.
Certainly happens, even in high-low. Yeah, Mike, thanks for tuning in there, bud. We're playing 10-20 limit. There is going to be one big bet game in there. We'll get to that. That's going to be a 5-5 blind with a $5 big blind ante and a $250 cap. But the other games we're running, we played deuce to 7 triple draw already. We're playing Omaha high-low right now. Badoogie, deuce to 7 single draw. That's the one no limit game. We're going to be playing Badusi, which is half Badoogie and deuce to 7. And we're also going to be playing limit big O. That's 5-card Omaha high-low. There we go. Oh, yep, here's the hand. The ace, 2, 3, 4, double suited.
What a beaut.
Love seeing that. I'm going to raise it up here.
Ooh, I remember this hand.
Yeah, here we go. This was a 4-way pot. That's right.
Oh, a lot going on there. Cody flops the current joint there with the 5-4. Frenchie with the uncounterfeitable low, made low, so he's got half the pot all but locked up. Certainly get counterfeited to chop it, but cannot really lose the low hand. That's why that ace 2 3 4 is so powerful, to have multiple options where there is no bad card for the low that can come out on the turn. We see Mattisau with the big wrap on the top end, and there he immediately binks it. The 9 high straight and the ace deuce currently chopping at this point.
I do remember seeing that and thinking if somebody just flopped a straight, that now I'm winning 3/4 of the pot. If it was just me and Cody, as you see here, we'd have the same straight for the high, and I would have the low, so I'd get quartered. But as we see, Mattisau 5, bang.
Yeah, so to be clear, I don't know if we defined quartering, but that's obviously when somebody wins half the pot and then also ties for the other half, so they're going to get 75% or 3/4, and the other person's going to get what we call quartered, which is the second least fun thing that can happen to you in a split pot game.
Yep.
So we get the river out there. Doesn't really change anything. Mattisau's still with the nuts on the high end. Frenchie's still with the nuts on the low. So frustrating for Cody to flop the joint, and then you don't put your opponent on a lot of 9s, 8s, 7s, 10s. Those are not the premium cards in this game, because you're very often straddling between you're going to get beat for the low, and you're going to get beat a lot of times for the high with higher straights, things like that.
Yep.
So the fact that he gets there, it is what it is. I mean, once he sees that flop, he's never gonna fold the top end wrap there.
Yeah, as we see, this has got up to a $300 pot.
Yes.
So even if you're going for half of it, you're still getting 8-1.
Yep.
And just one quick note on the dealer there, as you see, normal to no limit. You've seen him while we were doing our river action, built up the pot and already had it split in half. That is how a dealer should do it, have it ready to go on the split pot games. But here we go, buttons on seat 1. We're changing games to Badoogie. Here's the rules for that. 4 betting rounds. This is a triple draw game with 4 whole cards. Badoogie is when you have 4 cards that are all different rank, different rank and suit, and the ace plays low. So the pot goes to the Lewis Badoogie. If you have 4 different suits, you're going to start at the top card, and the nuts is the ace 2 3 4 rainbow. And if nobody has 4 different cards of a suit, the lowest 3-card hand would win. Down to 2 card, you could even win with a 2-card Badoogie, essentially.
This is my wife's favorite game, by the way. She
Yeah,
absolutely loves
your wife's favorite game.
Yep.
Only low on this one. This is not a split pot game.
This is not a split pot game. So the entire pot's going to go. Now you can, I've seen it where they make the exact same hands and chop, but that's, there is on most pots, 99% of the time, there's one winner in this game. So it's going to be, as Eli said in the rundown there, the best 4-card hand made, which is 4 different suits. If no one qualifies, we look at the 3 lowest cards in everybody's hand. Whoever has the 3 lowest, so like an ace 2 3 would beat an ace 2 4. For example,
of different suits.
Different suits, right. So as long as they've got rainbow of those 3 low cards, then you would be able to use those 3 cards. If you pair the suit, you really can't count both of those cards. It's not gonna qualify for a 4-card hand or even a 3-card hand. So you're trying to start low. You obviously want to start with 2 good low cards in your hand, and I just open up the ace deuce rainbow there and take that down kind of surprised a little bit that Big Papa didn't defend the 3-4 just because he's getting a price, but yeah. So we a little bit of background on this game. We think we don't know the exact origin of Badoogie. It's kind of up for debate, but the game has been played at least since all the way back in the 1980s, believe it or not, in South Korea. So it was a South Korean game originally, they think. Definitely originated somewhere in Asia and got brought over to the States at some point in the last 40 years or so.
That's interesting. We'll have to look into those games. I never really thought about that. Just one question here from Steve. Any chance you'll eventually run a tourney, or do you already? We have had just round-by-round games of tournaments, and we have one in the fall series coming up that'll be half No Limit Hold'em, half PLO. But we have had discussions, and almost definitely we'll wait for the schedule. But the next series that they have here, it'll likely be an 8-game mix in there.
I think Jim actually clarified he's going to give us our own event.
Oh.
Standalone. Yeah.
Yep. So stay tuned. The answer is yes. That they will be coming. Stay tuned to see how that goes. Maybe standalone, but that will definitely be going here soon. 8-game mix, similar to the way the World Series does it, is how we're going to start it off.
Could be 8, could be 9. Jim and I have been going back and forth on what games would be great for that, because I love No Limit Deuce to 7 single draw. I think that's a beautiful game. Plays great in a tournament format. So I'd love to get that in there, and maybe as a 9-game mix as well. You ask a lot of mixed game players, and there's no hostility to Hold'em, but Limit Hold'em, the first discussion that happens is let's get that out of the mix. So we don't see as much horse these days as Torse, which is just Deuce to 7 triple draw, which was our leadoff game tonight, replacing Hold'em in a lot of mixes. I love a good Limit Hold'em game on its own. I think you won't find a bigger action game in a room at whatever level than just strict Limit Hold'em, because you'll see 6, 7, 8 ways to the flop. And the biggest pots I've ever in volume and weight in my entire career of playing poker were Limit Hold'em pots, because you just get mountains of chips pushed your way. But yeah, I mean, it plays great by itself. In a mix, it's kind of a downer. It just doesn't really fit with a lot of what's going on with these other games.
I agree with that. I agree with all of that. I like Limit Poker. I know people are down on that, but that is one of my favorite forms. But
absolutely.
So here's a question about Badugi on the frustration scale.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be way up there, right?
Right up there with Raz.
As we see right now, Mattisau kept getting kept pairing and getting the suit, and then all of a sudden, bam, he got it there though. Got to the 8 low.
Indication.
Dan makes the aces.
So to break this down, in case you're still trying to follow along with us here, so he's got a rainbow hand. He's got all 4 suits in his hand, and he has no pairs. And his highest card is an 8. That's a very strong hand. Dan's still drawing live, or we're on the final draw. So he has bricked out his draw, I should say. So he did pick up another diamond there. Only has a 3-card hand, pretty clear at that point. that Mattisau had of made 4-card hands. There's no reason, even with a good 3-card hand. Once somebody stops drawing, that's generally your, and of course, there's opportunities to snow, as we call it. Snowing is another name for bluffing, where you're going to stand pat in a draw game and not draw in order to make your hand look stronger than it is. But those situations come up, and you got to be careful not to do it too often. That's a great question by Vic here.
So, are there low-stakes Badugi games online? You would have to find those specifically. I'm from Michigan, and I go on the online sites, and no, the answer is no. They do have horse games up that could be run as cash games, and I have never seen them actually run online. So this is... as we push, the big social aspect is a big part of the mixed game, so I feel like that's 90% of why we get together with this group of guys. But that would be a good way just to get used to the games a little bit before you came in with us.
I will say there are no regulated online sites.
That's accurate.
That offer that.
No regular. I'm sure
I know of a couple that are otherwise, but yeah, no, you're not going to see that too often.
And here we go. We got Josh raising it up here. He's got the ace-4 2-card draw. One little strat in this in Badugi that people underrate the 2-card draws.
Absolutely.
You have a lot more that you can get when you got a 1-card draw. Almost always, 3/4 of the deck is no good for you because it's the wrong suit.
Yep.
When you're going for a 2-card draw, the fact that you can get one, you're going 2 suits that are open, you can narrow your hand down more, and you don't get stuck in so many spots where you've got like a queen high Badugi or something to that extent.
Feel like you don't want to break it because you have a 4-card, but it's
right.
It's the type of Badugi that's going to get run down quite often. So
correct.
You're right, to be able to draw to a really strong 3-card, because the more multi-way the hand is, obviously the more 4-card hands are going to get made by I keep saying the river, but by after the final draw. But when if you're in a heads-up spot or even a 3-way spot, a lot of times the best, a really good, ace-2-3, ace-2-4. Even ace-2-5, 3-card Badugi is going to be more than enough to take the pot down if everybody's still drawing at the end. So
yeah, that's true.
Very, very important in a lot of the draw games. You want to draw as smoothly as possible. So Not all 3-card draws are created equal. A 7, 6, 8 is not, of different suits, is not as strong of a draw as an ace 2, 3. Only because if you don't improve, a 3-card 8 is very rarely going to win the pot, but a 3-card 3 is absolutely going to take down quite a number of pots. So, drawing smooth is always a key thing if you want to learn how to.
Yeah,
play
that's
this game
certainly
right.
true. Cody, for the small bet, like that ace 3, he was definitely thinking about it for a second. He knew the odds were good in the 2-card draw, but he did let it go, and that was the right time. I had a very good hand there and already made 8-7. All right. Well, we're gonna switch it up a little bit here now. Just give us 1 second to switch the headsets around. Joe, thanks for coming, man.
Hey, thanks
we
for having
appreciate
me.
everything. Yeah, you really spearheaded getting these games going. Again, anybody check us out on that Facebook group, Mixed Game Players, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio. We'd love to see more of you. Joe, thanks again.
This is the most fun I've had in a long time. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, give us 1 second. We're gonna move around. Vic's gonna come in, and me and Vic are gonna close you out for the night. This one is a bit of a fan favorite here. The newer players come in. While it might take just a hinge to get on the same page, once you figure this game out, this is one of the favorites. I know you haven't seen a lot of them, Vic, but is the answer if I say how much mixed game you've played? Is it just 0?
I would say it is 0. I mean, I played some Omaha, some high-low Omaha. Of course, I grew up on 7-card stud.
Mm-hmm.
5-card stud, but some of these other games, they are absolutely brand new to me. I'm coming into this raw. I'm finding it very intriguing. As you know, I've already had a bunch of questions for you, even while I wasn't on the stream with you. But this is very intriguing, and I'm glad that we've had this opportunity to be able to bring this to you, and hopefully we get more opportunities here in the future for it.
Yeah.
Plus, as you mentioned, you already have a really tight core of players here that enjoy this. They're passionate about it. They're obviously well versed in these games, so there's not a lot of trying to explain to another player. So that to me, when you're watching somebody play a game and they obviously have a certain confidence level about where they are at any given point, that I love watching that. That's fantastic.
Yeah, a lot of things. We'll go over some of the differences, things that translate well from No Limit, things that don't translate as well. This was my vision for. Again, we're just promoting this game. We want to get it going. We want more people, like Vic, who have some periphery. He knows how stud games work. Everybody get how these kinds of games work. All you have to remember is there are only 3 different types of games, basically. There are flop games, that'll be your Holdems, your Omahas, your Pineapples, and then there's stud games. They're all different variants. There's high-low, there's Raz, there's everything in between, and then there's draw games. We've got the triple draw, deuce to 7, we've got the Badoogie, but they're all in that parameter. So once you get the foundation going, I play new games all the time, and it doesn't even, sometimes you read the bullet points and you don't need to ask any more questions. So once you get everything down, the parameters of everything down, all the games fit into a mold still.
I was just about to ask, both of these players are probably going to redraw their kings, hoping to improve their situation. And Joe, unfortunately, picks up a pair, so that doesn't help him. Dan exchanged a king for a queen, and he's got 2 diamonds.
Yep, so they're going to draw, but just to clarify, if these were the 2 hands at the showdown, they would both have a 3-card. Joe's would be, he can't use one of the 4s, so he'd have a 3-card 9.
Okay.
And Dan drew better than on this one here. He can't use his big club, so he would have a 3-card 8. Here we are after the second draw. The same thing, Joe drawing another spade and Dan drawing another club. And it looks like he's just going to pitch it there. If Joe's pat there, then all of a sudden Joe needs a very finite amount of cards. He needs a club that's also 9 or lower. But he had a fair chance there. He just mucks it and moves on. Yeah, a couple people are here. Yeah, Toledo Geo, better than the same 9 faces playing 2 card. Yeah, you start to get in the rooms. It starts to get repetitive. This isn't. Again, this refreshes me for the Hold'em. It really gets my Hold'em juices flowing again. Just being able to play these the few times that I get to.
So I'm going to ask you a logistical question here, because when we do have our No Limit Hold'em cash game and a player gets up from the table, they still get dealt in, but not in this situation.
So in this situation, so this is called. I forget what they call it exactly, but the button comes to seat 1. So every time the game changes, it's like a brand new setup. So everybody pays 1 set of blinds through each one. So if you start getting dealt in for the round, yes, you should be dealt in throughout, and regardless, you're responsible for your blinds when they come for that round.
I see. Okay.
But if you want, you'll see later. Tom takes a break for a whole round. You'll just be dealt out for that whole round, and you won't be responsible for your blinds.
Okay.
San Diego, they call this, because you're going over the river when it comes to the 1 seat.
Gotcha.
So you get into. We're not as cutthroat. It doesn't come down to that anyways. But if you get into the real big mixed games, if I'm like in seat 10 and I bust out in the middle of the round, I actually owe my blinds for that round still, because I started it. Because the people in seat 3 start the blinds every time. So just a little interesting quirk with things like that. We pay for the time here too, so we want people dealt in as much as possible, so that as many people who are entitled to hands play them.
So Dan stands pat here. Pretty good hand there.
That's an excellent hand.
Yeah.
Here's me forgetting about the cameras. Give me 1 second. I'm about to be told to sit down. Yep, there it is. My bad.
As you should.
By the way, yes, my fault. And yeah, Tom here with a good hand, but drawing stone dead. He's got the Badoogie, 4-card Badoogie. Once you make it there, yeah, he knew it. But sometimes when you get to the river with a doogie, you kind of have to call him.
Okay.
That is one thing that happens in these limit games. Sometimes the big decisions are early on, because when you get late, the pot odds are so much there that you can't let them go.
And this is the reserve in Toledo, Ohio. We are going till 10:15 tonight, so we still have a few more hours to go. Want to thank Joe very much for coming in, as he not only played and helped put this game together, but was able to bring you some expert commentating with Frenchie, a.k.a. Eli, and my name is Vic, and I'm going to play the guy here quite innocently and naturally, trying to understand these games.
Yeah, Mattis out here, once again, everybody knows him as Mike Thompson around here. Been deep in a few tournaments, but I've known him for a long time. Really exciting. I'm very surprised that he was a mixed game player, to be honest with you. He joined us a couple weeks ago. I know it now, but when he first started playing mixed with us, and it's been great. And I know he looks at it the exact same way. Sometimes you need to break up the monotony of the same game every time, and just keeps things going better. But on this hand, we got a raise from Mattis out here, as he's already got a made Badoogie. We'll see one of the strats here. So there's a couple things going on. You got 2 people drawing against you, so if they make a 4-card Badoogie, it's unlikely you're going to be best, right, with the Jack High.
Right.
But it's also, at the same time, extremely likely that you just have the best hand right now. So against 2 people, usually the strat is to stay in pat, but as we see, it already happened. Big Papa there making the 4-card 9 to take the lead, and now this puts Mattisau already in a sticky situation. What is he going to choose here? So there's still 2 draws left. Cody drawing 2, Mattisau staying pat, and Big Papa staying in pat. Mattisau hated to hear that. But he's going to bet out again. Oh, no. Oh. I was like, well, it's a beautiful draw for Cody, but it's not, because he's got 2 hearts and 2 clubs.
Yeah.
So that one really didn't work out well, and he gets out of the way.
And they're both going to stand pat here?
Yeah, they both stand pat. and then they end up both
Oh, they
checking
both
there.
checking. Okay.
I understand Madisau's check there on the river was perfectly fine. Mike's, that's like the exact middle hand where I'm like not sure if I want to bet or not bet. Madisau, I would think, is more capable than most of the check raise there, so I don't mind his check behind. It's tough to get value from worse hands. You know, if you're betting twice and Madisau sees he's been standing pat, like what does a jack do? But a lot of people would say that's still a value bet there.
And Badugi is always a limit game.
So, yes, I've
Yes.
only ever seen it low. I've in the first mixed game book I ever read, they said that it would be played 1/3 pot limit, and that would be they picked that price because if I have a made hand and you're drawing to one suit, I'm pricing you out correctly still, betting the 1/3 pot. But
Okay.
that being said, I've never seen that in my life at an actual place. So yes,
So, but right now you're playing this as a limit.
we
game,
are playing
10,
a
20.
limit. Yes. All games in this mix are 10-20 limit except for, and we haven't had it yet, but it'll be coming up, the deuce to 7 single draw.
Gotcha.
That'll be played no limit, 5-5 blinds, the big blind Andy's 5, so that way it's still $15 a round, and the cap for each round is $250. So we raise to 25, then there's 225 remaining to bet after that.
So Josh raises this up to 20, giving Cody the ability to then bet another 10 to make this 30.
Yep.
For the 3-bet, he has his Badugi. Josh has some work cut out for him here.
Josh does have some work cut out again, but we touched on this a little bit, and against this exact hand against Cody, it's a little bit better that he has a 2-card draw than a 1-card draw. You can mix in what you need. You still need the 2 right suits, but sometimes you're drawing very thin if you need to both get a lower card and 1 suit. And here he improves. Yep, he can discard. So here he improves greatly to a 3-card 5. But Cody's still betting down every street. And as the bets increase, Josh's hand improved to a 3-card. So he's got ace, deuce, 5. He needs a heart.
And in this case, he's going to let go of the 4 of clubs, right? And keep that ace of clubs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's what he did. Yeah, there's the draw there. And there it is, caught the mirror. Oh, there's a couple of hands where Cody caught it rough, and that's a bad one there. Because he needed a non-ace, deuce, 5, 10 or less heart. So really, there was only about 5 cards there. And you end up drawing really thin. But again, in limit, the price might have very well been there. Yep, here's Big Papa. That's exactly what it is. Missed a bet there. As we see with the hand, he had one of the few ones that would get you there. But once again, we're going to change games here, but on seat 1. We're moving to this no-limit deuce to 7 single draw game. This has been more popular lately if you've been watching the World Series stream. Only 2 rounds of betting here. You get 5 whole cards, 1 round of betting, and then there's 1 draw, and then another round of betting after that. The entire pot goes to the lowest possible hand. Aces play high. Straights and flushes do count against you. And once again, the nuts, the wheel in this game, 7, 5, 4, 3, deuce. That's not a straight, that's not a flush, that's 7 high. And that's as good as it gets. But again, only 1 draw in this one as compared to the triple draw, but it is no limit with a $250 cap. Of all the games that play differently that you need some strat on, Vic, this is the one. Been getting more and more popular, especially in the tournament scene on the World Series. We got the Nick Schulmans of the world, all playing this game only, but as part of a mix. This is my favorite game to play in a mix.
So this is not one of the games that's included in the big horse tournaments.
So it wouldn't be in a horse tournament, but it would be in the 8-9 games.
Okay.
It would be in those. The dealer choice tournaments that they have at the World Series. One of the choice, no limit, deuce to 7. You can choose a limit or a no limit game. Now the blinds are smaller in no limit than they are in limit, just because the pots grow bigger proportionally to the big blind than they do in a limit game. But yes, these big bet they're called big bet games. There's no limit hold'em are sometimes in there. Pot limit Omaha, pot limit high low, and deuce to 7 triple or single draw are the most common ones. One other caveat in this game that there is, said the blinds are 5 and 5. There is no open limping. A limp would be a $10 bet. You have to open for at least a min raise. As we see here,
You've
I
got a
opened,
mystery hand.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
We'll get to that. Yeah, several times. We're working out the kinks here with the mixed games. You'll see us having to tell the players several times to get the players' cards in the box.
Yeah.
But I opened to the 10 here and got 3-bet to 50, and my heart said to fold. Drawing to a 10. Drawing to that 10 can usually be good, but Tom hadn't really stepped out yet. This is a big bet game. I didn't expect anybody to go too crazy. I regret this play on many levels, aside from the fact that I'm just drawing dead, which is the worst. But as you see, I reconsider how bad I played here. See, I made my hand and I don't like it. And that's not the spot you want to be in. I messed up, yeah. Wasted $40. Tom's a good guy, though. Went to a nice spot. Dan getting a decent card with a jack. Well, we'll see. Jacks and 10 highs are generally good hands in this, but that one was bad. Yeah, Darren, deuce to 7, the real Cadillac of poker. A lot of people say that, and it's getting more and more popular. Pure poker here for sure, absolutely. This is the one game that kind of gets people's juices running into this.
And I can see from the chat that we brought on some new viewers. Dave, greatly appreciate that. Plus the participation in the chat. Please keep it up. And if you are new here to the reserve, we really appreciate if you hit the thumbs up and also subscribe. When you do subscribe, be sure to hit the bell because that's going to give you notifications when we do go live. Nice to know when we've got particularly special events like this.
All right, here we go on the next hand. Here's coming around, and got Dan here. Another solid hand, just starting with a pat 9, opening to 40. Here's an interesting. What makes this game interesting, Vic? 2 betting rounds. So you got to really pick what your strategies are to get to big bets. You know, if you were playing a $250 cap and no limit hold'em, you're going to get there frequently. But you only got 2 bets. You need to make if you want to make big bets for value, you need to be able to mix big bets in with bluffs. And when you're in a mixed game like this, it's a little tougher to really balance things. But the fact that it's only 2 betting rounds, I want to say that he raised from 5 to 40. That's why. It looks like a gigantic raise in no limit hold'em, and it's much more frequent. And we'll see. Joe, I feel like, knows a little bit more about this game than me. I open kind of small often in this game, and a couple times we'll see he opens straight from 5 to 30. And so there's a lot of interesting strategies in this. Here we go. Everybody takes a second to get the cards in the box and get looked, but we're going to have Dan coming right in. There's him discussing, making sure he's got to make a 10. Makes a 10 there. Coming around. Frustrated, half a bet. I say, okay. Oh, yeah, I remember this hand now. As you see, I did not want to even call the $5, and realistically probably shouldn't have. I talked myself into half a bet and
I'm
get the
just
full
seeing
punish.
this game for the first time, and I couldn't understand why you called.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean, I was going to draw. You can draw up to 5 cards, so I was going to draw. I was going to draw 3. I would have kept the 10.
Oh, okay.
But I was going to pitch 3 cards for a half a bet. But especially, you see here now, it gets highlighted as I get the full punish raised out of the big blind, and so I don't even get to see my draw. But yes, like I said, these type of hands where your equity is just so low, even in limit for a half a bet, it was not worth it.
Sure.
See, this is actually a really good raise by Joe here, though. Everybody limped. It's almost, you start to get to better players. Impossible is not the term, but it's really hard for people to have a better hand than that. Even if they do have a 10 high, he's got a near best 10 high possible. So that was just a really good. He picks up $40 just there by raising there and taking down the pot as well. So a lot of these, this is compared to everything else the most about equity denial. When you're ahead, you don't want people drawing against you. You don't want people. You got 5 cards to worry about. The read, it's not as easy to read the exact hand that they have as it is in Hold'em. You've obviously got the board to compare what their strength is, and you have no board. Yeah, Toledo, first time in here. We appreciate you. Shout out. Yep. There.
Gio's trolling me right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. I've never seen him before. That's usually how it works. Anybody?
Now, what was
the
initial buy-in for this?
So because this is limit, there is no. It's technically so at 1020, it would be a $200 minimum.
Okay.
But there is no maximum. Almost all of us got in for somewhere between 5 and I bought in for 1,000.
Okay.
And that's just because I want to make sure. The $250 cap. As long as you're at 250 or more, you'll be able to play a whole hand to the river no matter what. In any of the games, but in limit, it doesn't matter. You can be all in. There's still all in rules and side pots when you can, but in limit, I don't feel it necessary to ever be all in. If there's a time when I'm short stacked, I'm either going to add on or just quit the game. But this is, as you see, everybody bought in fairly deep. We did the chip counts right at the beginning, and average was at least 900 to start.
So Big Papa's got to really like his hand here. Matisov's going to draw 1 card, and Big Papa is going to stand pat.
Yeah, good play by both. The 10 high ranks to be very good. I say pre-flop, but pre-draw. Yeah, and here's Matisov's caught the 1 card that can pay him off. But he might fold. Nope, there he goes. Yep. Yeah, so right there with that $50 bet. Caught the jack. Matisov had to pay that off, but any 10 or lower that didn't pair would have got him there. He had a good draw. Well played by both. That's one thing that takes the most finesse in this game is figuring out where to value bet. A lot of people with that 10, they play it as a bluff catcher, or they play it and just check behind because they figure they can't get paid off by a lot of hands. So that's why I think that was an excellent bet. Get paid off by the jack high. All right, couple hands left here of the. We're on deuce to 7 right now. Deuce to 7 single draw. Again, this is no limit. 5 blinds with a $5 big blind. Annie starts the action. Got to come in for at least $10. Yeah, as you see, Cody's out right now, but still getting dealt in because he paid his blinds for this round.
Okay.
Well, he's gonna make it back anyways, and that's why we do it. Oh yeah, he was adding on. That's right. Caught it rough early. Hurried back for pile of rags.
Yeah.
The second production's catching up. Looks like we're going to have a raise here, though. And there goes Cody, Matisov. Yeah, Mike raises it there. Open it up to 25. That's a that's a hand that I feel like people would might even fold pre-flop that I think is a good raise. A couple things. Obviously, you can still take it down pre-flop. That makes you $15 right there. You can, if you end up in position in this game, is very good. Betting when people check. It's really hard, even when you're out of position, to check with a powerful hand, hoping for a check raise in this.
So Big Papa's going to get rid of his queen.
Yep.
And T-Bolt standing pat. And Frenchie's going to, well, you got rid of your ace?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, I remember this hand now. Yeah, so this is a fun hand. I'll let you commentate this one.
And Big Papa really improved his hand by getting rid of that queen and picking up the 3 of clubs. Your hand improved as well significantly, and as you could tell, the computer knows because you got the check mark.
Mm-hmm.
Do you raise?
There's a couple things I'm going through. Let me tell you, the short answer is yes. I got 2 people there. This is certainly a raising hand. There is a moment of worry after everybody, but T-Bold made I think, a good pat with that jack. He's forcing us to draw against him in a spot that isn't. But I'm not sure I love the 25 bet out. That might be a better check call hand. But as we see here, I think he might have like a really good hand, a good 10. I beat a lot of 8s. He could have an 8-7, in which case he's got a call. Mike could be caught here with the 9. So this is all in, this bet here, as we see capped all in.
Capped all in at 225.
Yep, we bet 25 pre-flop. It's a 250 cap. And they both make a, that's a good fold for Mike, I think.
Yeah, very good fold.
He's got, again, with blockers, he's got all the cards that I want to have, a 10 high strong. But at the same time, it's hard to think it's much more than a bluff catcher at that point. I wouldn't be value raising a worse 10. But still, sound play by both of them. I went a little too hard. I thought they had, if I would have made it 50 or 75, they certainly would have called. I could have made some more money. I thought they had a little bit better hand than they did. And that's why I think it's a good bet, actually, by him, because you don't want to be so narrow on your bets.
And Big Papa's been waiting 6 hours to watch that hand, and now he needs to pat himself on the back after he sees that he did make a good fold. Tough fold.
I agree it was.
Yep.
I agree it was. And when he was calling in between, if there was a time to bluff, and I don't know the best spots to bluff in this game, but if there was a time to bluff, if I would have missed, I feel like that would have been a good spot to bluff too, which is why I went so big.
So hindsight's 20/20. I mean, what if you just make the bet another 100, and it entices a call, and you make 100 there instead of going all in with the, or were you going for left field on this one? You were hoping you would get it.
I was going for left field, absolutely.
Okay.
I had basically 3 bet sizes in my head. A min raise, which would have been raised to 50. I thought about raising to 75, as I thought they might have just been priced in with a lot of stuff as well. And then the big bet, which is what I went for. I got to get paid off. If I get paid off half as much as I do with that big bet, it's better in the long run. I'm not sure that was the right play. Well, hindsight's 20/20.
Hindsight's 20/20, but really, if Big Papa doesn't make a good fold there, then you get paid off.
And if he had a 9 instead of a 10, I think that's the difference right there. I think he would have been forced to call with a 9.
Yeah.
So I thought they had a little bit bigger hand. So yes, I was targeting the bigger hands, going for the bigger payoff. And in that specific situation, a smaller bet would have been better.
Now, both these players are standing pat. But why didn't Matisow get rid of one of his deuces? Oh, he did.
Yeah,
he did.
Okay.
He did not stand pat. He drew. However, he picks up a 3 to pair his 3s.
And correctly just lays it down, making the pair. One thing we'll see here too, people have watched it in the World Series again, getting a little. This is what you're expecting to play against in a mixed game. This is not balancing our ranges to make sure we have enough bluffs on these big overbet pots and stuff. I'm not saying everybody plays straightforward and there's no bluffing. We've seen a couple of bluffs come through. Before you stepped in, Vic, Tom made a nice bluff in Omaha high-low, was getting none of the pot and ended up taking it down on a $120 pot for a $20 bet. So things work out well, still with aggression in this game.
So in that last hand, I think, did Mike fold to no action? It was on him and he folded, or did did Dan make a bet there?
I think Dan made a bet
okay,
there.
all right. I just wanted to clarify because that's the same rules that you would have in No Limit Hold'em, where you can't fold to no action.
You certainly would. Yes, we
Okay.
would not fold to no action here. But a pair is not as bad as it sounds. Especially he had a pair of threes. There's going to be a lot of if the other person is drawing. There's going to be a lot of times those kind of win. When there's two people drawing one card, that's kind of when the action kind of happens. One person might not believe they hit. One person might be trying to bluff because they made a terrible pair. So that's where some action comes. When somebody's pat pre, it kind of changes things.
So Big Papa here raising to 10, and he's hoping to change his hand up a little bit with a draw. As is Cody. As is Josh. Looks like Dan's needs some help. So Josh draws 1, Cody draws 3. Big Papa going to draw 1, get rid of one of those deuces, obviously. Dan draws 2. The king and the 10. Boy, things aren't going too well for Cody, are they?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. One similarity is to any poker game. People run good and people run bad every day. Today it was Cody a couple times. You'll see some more.
Yeah, so big improvement there for Big Papa, while everybody else, not so much.
Yeah, not so much, but with the single draw here, that went so multi-ways, 4 players. He played that right. I don't know what would have happened if somebody else bet, but there's no value to be had from betting there. So he just has to knuckle it, show down the best hand, and he'll take it down. All right, here's the last hand of No Limit Deuce to 7. Once again, this is the only big bet in our mix. $250 cap, 5 blinds, $5 big blind ante.
So what is your evolution into mixed games? Were you playing more mixed games than you were No Limit Hold'em, or were you No Limit Hold'em before the mixed games became apparent to you?
Well, I mean, certainly when I played poker routinely, No Limit Hold'em was first. But like you, when I first learned, it was stud and 5-card draw and that stuff with, we had the family poker game with
Yep.
the quarters. And,
Yep.
I distinctly remember somebody saying that the kid shouldn't be at the table and my grandma saying he can stay. But, yeah, certainly took to No Limit Hold'em first. And it was primarily that for a long time. But I distinctly remember, I can tell you the exact moment I first played my first mixed game at the Imperial Palace, 26 years old in Vegas.
Yeah.
And I walk into a 3-6 mixed game, and I'm like, oh, I've been thinking about, I knew about Omaha High-Low. And the games that they were playing kind of blew my mind. They're not exactly a mix like this. They're more the random games. They're 3-2-1 Omaha and such. But that really got me interested in it and started looking into it more. And honestly, it was very rare and sporadic that I would play for several years. And then in 2019, I moved out to Vegas for 6 years, and I really became a regular at the mixed games there.
Okay.
Small stakes, 4-8, 8-6, 6-12, and 8-16 would be predominantly. I played a regular 4-8 game as well. That was, well, you want to get into the crazy games. We won't get into that yet, but there was the wild games in that one, just 4-8. But that's just, I feel like that is a very common evolution. Everybody, you dip a little toe, you like it, you want more, you find where your boundaries are of the weird games that you want to play, and then you find the people, the mix, the social group that really flows with everybody, and yeah, that's how you get into it. And right now, I feel like I'm at a perfect balance with Hold'em and mixed games.
So Tom paid Joe off there, but we're going to move on because now we've got yet another mixed game, and Eli is going to let us know how this one plays
so this
out.
is the most one that gets a little bit dicey in there. There's going to be 4 betting rounds. This is Badoogie and Deuce to 7 put together. So there's 4 betting rounds. Everybody's got 5 cards that are dealt out to them and 3 draws. The final hands, the lowest 4 unique drink and suits. So Badoogie rules. The best 4-card Badoogie will split the pot with the best 5-card Deuce to 7 hand. Ace is high in everything in this. That's the only thing that's slightly different. In Badoogie, it was low before. So the nut, as we see here, 5-4-3-2 rainbow in Badoogie. and then if you have a 7 of any suit, that would be nut nut. You would have the wheel 75432 for your deuce to 7 hand, and the 5432 rainbow. So this one's going to test you here, Vic.
Yeah.
This is the one. So most split pot games are high-low.
Let me take a sip of coffee.
Absolutely. Most split pot games are high-low. This split pot game is just 2 games mashed together. 2 low ball games mashed together in one.
And this is low only.
This is low only, both of them. Ace plays low on both of the games. You'll see a really sticky hand that I get stuck in. And I almost think it might be this one, but you'll see it. You'll see how this game can really get things going. But again, button always starts on seat 1 for the new game. And there I am ripping it open. I got a Jack Badoogie because I can't use the 7 of clubs, so I would have a Jack, a 3, 4, 5 Jack 4 card Badoogie, and then as well as I have a Jack high deuce to 7. I don't remember what I do here, so this will be fun. But an easy open. I'm going to get a few calls here.
Ace low or high?
Ace is high.
High, okay.
Ace is high in both games in this one. And there's the first draw. Again, this is a triple draw game. So I'll just kind of read the hands as it goes on. Mattisau here, he's got... So here's a little tricky one. So Mattisau will use the 6 of hearts, the 7 of spades. He's got 4 different suits, but he can't use both of the 8s. So right now he only has a 3-card Badoogie. He would have the 6 of hearts, the 7 of spades, and the 8 of clubs to make a 3-card Badoogie.
Okay.
And as well as he's got 2 pair for the high, so... Well, he's got some drawing going on. That's all he has there. I drew, and as we see, I only got a 3-card, but I made a very good 8-7 for the deuce to 7 portion. So as we see here, I stood pat. Even though I don't have a Badoogie yet, anything I would discard would break up my very good deuce to 7 hand. So my plan is to think that my deuce to 7 is going to hold up most of the time, and occasionally they can't find a Badoogie. My 3-card Badoogie, my 3-card 5 there, might be good. But as we see, disaster has struck. Cody made a 7 low.
With 4 cards.
So, no, he still only has a 3-card, though.
Oh, okay.
Because he has no spade right now.
Ah, okay.
Right.
Right.
So
Just
his
a 3-card.
Yep, his
Gotcha.
best 3-card would be deuce 4 5.
Okay.
The diamond, club, and heart, and then 7 6 is, a top 5 hand for deuce to 7. So he knows he's got half locked up. I mean, he doesn't know, but
And yours would be 3, 4, 5.
mine would be 3 4 5 exactly. So you're about to see why I'm going to hear the bad news here in a moment. And now I realize that I checked to him. He stood pat. It's pretty unlikely I'm going to win both halves. I'm never going to fold. I have a really good deuce to 7 hand, but I don't want to get super aggressive now, as I'm only getting half of the pot, and I don't want to. And I want Mattisau in for the most part. But as we see now, he's got me pipped on both sides. I've got an 8. He's got a 7, and then he's got 5 4 deuce for the 3-card, and I've got 5 4 3.
3. Yep.
Yep. So Cody, that's the one thing that went right for him this day. Scoops the whole pot. Mike's trying to get half for me there, but he misreading the hand. I appreciate it, Mattisau. Nothing. You'll notice with this too. Again, with the camaraderie, nobody ever takes anything like that personal. Everybody, the dealers, the players, even miss hands. Everybody's trying to help each other out there.
So the other thing I just noticed now, and I didn't notice it in the other games, is there is a burn card.
Sure.
Before the draws, there's a burn. You're going to get your cards. And then there's going to be a burn card for that draw.
Correct.
And then another draw. There's going to be a burn card for that, and a burn. Okay.
So 2 things about that. The idea of a burn card is, again,
Yes.
in case it's marked. So
Yep.
the deck would sit there a little bit before it do it, so nobody knows where that card's going. And the second thing is, so when you're on triple draw especially, you know where you're at in the hand. If there's 1 burn card, you've drawn once. If there's 2, you've drawn twice. If there's 3,
okay.
that does happen on occasion,
Yeah.
and you'll actually see later on somebody calls the river with a poor hand, and then, oh, I thought there was another draw. But it is right in front of you, and you should be able to figure out where you're at. Obviously, anybody can ask at any time too, but
Sure.
that keeps track of where you're at in the hand, because you don't, you see 4th Street, you see 5th Street on Hold'em very easily. That's how you keep track of the streets.
So this is a strong starting hand for Joe.
This is top tier because he's 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. So he's already got a very good 4-card Badoogie. He's
Okay.
going to be able to pitch. Sometimes when you get these pairs, they don't work out because you have both the suits elsewhere. So because he can ditch the 2 of diamonds, he can keep the 4-card Badoogie, and he's drawing to an 8. This is a premium.
And you're not going to protect your big blind there with that
Yep.
hand.
And again,
I think I can
sometimes,
see why.
yeah, again, especially heads up, so I really wasn't getting good odds, but that's a hand that, even most odds, you just can't play that. While there's a lot of hands that have equal equity, when you get into the bad equity, it can get ugly fast.
Yeah. So I do like to touch on that burn card from time to time, just like you did, particularly with people that are new to the game, that understand, to help them understand that, going back to the riverboat gambling days, and players would, they knew how to mark cards.
Yep.
So the introduction of the burn card meant that that was sitting on the top of the dealer's hand. That was going to be burned, and nobody could tell. They might know what that card is, but they don't know if it's coming out on the flop.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I love the history of it.
Yeah, we actually had, it came up, we had a discussion for a moment. Somebody said, I always wondered why there was burn cards and draws, as
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. And we kind of want more cards in the deck because you don't want to run out of cards and reshuffle. Right. It's just kind of a pain. And as you see, it doesn't happen hardly at all. I think it only happened once or twice today, which is perfect for a mixed game. If you do that, you're in fine shape. And again, in these triple draws, as you see, there's 2 people sitting out. Did we go over that, Vic?
No.
So in triple draw games, there really should only be played 6-handed, so you're not burning through the deck so fast.
Okay.
So we put the NIT buttons in front of the 2 people who are behind the button. They're sitting out.
Yes. Okay.
So and then the single draw and any of the flop games, that's still 8-handed. Everybody gets dealt in. Hey, what's up, Kyle? I'll get you in just a second after this hand. Yeah, we're playing mixed games today. But here we are in the Badoogie. And yeah, this was oh yeah, I wanted to see what happened with this hand.
So you only have a 3-card Badoogie right now.
So not only do I have a 3-card Badoogie, I have amongst the worst deuce to 7 hand at this moment. Now I'm going to break it up, but a straight counts against me. So I have to break that up somehow. As you see, I'll discard the 6 of spades. Or did I discard 2? I might have discarded 2. No, I only need 1. That's right. And here I am peeling. This is one of my favorite parts of mixed games, though. Peeling your cards. What do you need? That's right.
So did your hand get worse?
My hand got worse.
Yeah. Okay.
But I continued betting here. I had taken the lead. Yeah, that was because it was the right suit. But because my 2 8s, I need a heart and a diamond. Like, no matter what, I have to discard one of them, and I'm discarding a suit I have. But as a semi-bluff, I pitched it out. That one worked. I show him a little bit that I got a bad card. But it was blind versus blind there, so that was just mostly just, for balance, bluffing. But, yeah, Kyle, thanks for hopping in. We're trying to get there. A lot of no-limit hold'em. We're in the mixed games here. We're going to be trying to have this game at least every week, maybe a little bit bigger game, monthly or quarterly. And Tom there in seat 8 is going to be discussing starting a Monday night game that is just 4-8 as a more new mixed player friendly event. So the best spot is the Facebook Mixed Game Players in Michigan, Indiana, Ohio is what it's called, where we kind of put this together from. So check that out, man. Get on the Facebook group. I'll approve you immediately. And then, getting the breakup knowing you, limit, Kyle, this would be a good monotony breakup from the no limit. I think you'd like this. This is poker, Kyle. Get hit. Yeah, I love Mike in here. He's always defending us. Believe it or not, it's more poker than no limit hold'em. But this is certainly, knowing all the games. A lot of people think that. I mean, in the World Series, the $50,000, it's the poker players' main event. That's an 8-game mix. A lot of people think that to be the best player in the world, you need to have a broad knowledge of poker. Well,
yes. Your stable needs to be big.
Yep. Well, not as much. The real big games used to always be mixed game. Now there is big no limit games, but there are still many mixed games that are 100, 200, and bigger. Those get really interesting. But here we go. We're still on the Badusi. Once again, this is a split pot game.
So interesting that Dan calls there. That doesn't seem like a very appealing hand to me. He's got 2 spades, 2 diamonds, and 2 tens. And he draws 2, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mostly agree with you. People take, some of the pot odd spots. He was closing the action. I mean, he is still getting 5-1, so I can't really argue too much, but that is a little bit outside of what I would normally play. Also, considering it was an early position raiser, and I do think that in this, it's a little more indicative of your hand strength. It's really, you don't want to raise with a marginal hand early in these games, and then when you get 3-bet, you're priced in and you're behind, and it gets really sticky really quick. So, yeah, I would have mucked Dan's hand there, but some people take the price, and that it's never bad, never too bad, I should say.
And so Tom has the best 3-card Badugi.
So Tom has, deuce 3, 6. Nobody has a... No, Dan has a 4-card. He has spade, heart. Nope, the diamond and the club are 7s. You're right. He has the same one. You were right. But they will both draw. Try to get to reading the hands more on the river because they change so much as they go.
Now, Dan does make a 4-card Badugi.
Yeah, so he has a... Yeah,
and
so
he's the only one with that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no diamond there and no spade there. Yeah, so he's got a king is what we would call this. He's got a king high for the deuce to 7 and a king high for the Badugi portion. Pair. And he's got a scoop hand if he doesn't fold. Oh, there's another draw. That's what it is.
Yeah, he's drawing 1.
So these are the tough spots because your king certainly, you would think, kills your deuce to 7 hand. What did he draw there? I'm interested.
He got rid of the king.
And got another club. So he improved greatly. So he went to a... Wow, that was a good card for him.
Yeah, he's got a 4-card Badugi, 7, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yep. And a 10 high rates to be good lots of the time. Cody drew 1, and Dan's got the scooper here. Let's see if he can get some action here. T-Bold's got a pair, no real doogie. It's going to be a tough call.
Yeah, Big Papa, I like that comment about getting a label up on the screen.
Yeah, I do too. There was a brief discussion about it. We're just trying to find a good spot to put it on the screen without taking up too much space and how many bullet point rules we want on there. But we will have something for the next time. Anybody else, what they like seeing on the screen? Any comments about this? Any questions are happily answered. You can get as complex as you want. I might not know all those answers, but as simple as you can get. Anything that you might like to see that would get you to play something like this?
And what game is on deck?
On deck, I've got it right here.
Give our viewers a chance to Google that real quick. But we will have the explanation on that.
One most people know, this will be Big O next. Just 5-card Omaha high-low. And just like once you get more into the mixed game community, you'll see a lot of that base games that get a little tweak here.
Okay.
You've got regular Omaha high-low, add a card. You've got Badoogie, and you got Deuce to 7. Let's put them together. You've got.
And the Big O game is a limit as well.
Yes.
That's
yes.
a limit betting.
That is one that in some mixes will be pot limit, but
Right.
we play it limit.
Yep.
He ended up just taking that down. There's Bill getting nosy. Came in for a minute, said hi. See, but we are getting more interest. This is, I'd say that there's at least 8 people who's played in the last couple weeks, too, that weren't here. So we do have a little rotating mix of players. Always be able to get always looking for new players.
As much as I'd like to give Bill a hard time, he's a fellow Bears fan, so
Yeah.
I got to
I'll let it go.
tread lightly. There aren't many of us around the area, so I'm going to keep those friends close.
Yep, Baron over here.
And again, now there are 2 players not in this hand because it's always 6-handed.
Correct.
Because of the amount of cards that are in play. Of course, 6 times 5, that's 35 cards. And then there's going to be 3 burn cards, that's 38 cards, and then the drawing. So does this really have the potential to draw out?
Sure.
And what happens?
So different games have different rules. Our rule is the last card of the stub. Again, the dealer rolls the cards occasionally. It gets flashed to the last card, doesn't get dealt, and simply they'll move that out. It'll get reshuffled with all the burn cards are left. It'll get shuffled with the muck, and any cards that are currently being drawn will be left out there. Those
Okay.
won't be mixed in. So just the muck and that last card will be mixed together and finish the draw from there.
Okay.
You get in dealing the higher stakes mixed games. They had some real weird rules, like they would play there if there was only one card. If there's they're on the last draw. 2 cards are needed. They would get card 1 and card 2 out of the burn. They wouldn't want to go into they try to stay away from the muck and the discard piles as much as possible.
Okay.
And at the higher stakes, we would start all the games would start out of the plastic with decks. So that's why they trusted them a little bit more with marked cards. And
Good
whatnot.
hand here for Joe. 4-card Badoogie, right?
Sure, 4-card Badoogie, but he didn't make a straight for the Deuce to 7. But he's gonna, so that's a semi-bluff. But yes, good hand is what you're saying. It is a very good hand. But Betson takes it down there from T-Bold. As you see, with the 2 hands sit out, it's just kind of a good time to take a little break if you do. But there's only 2. Was there 2 games or 3? Deuce to 7 triple draw. Oh, 3 games that'll happen. All the triple draw games. Deuce to 7 triple draw, Badoogie and Badoosie.
We've got 8 players at the table, and that's the ideal situation for a mixed game like this.
My slight preference would be 7, actually.
7? Okay.
That way it keeps 1 sit out, and even some of the games I played, they just they're fine with the reshuffles more often and played 7-handed throughout, even with the triple draw. So slightly preferred 7, but 8 is perfectly fine. It's a little bit nicer for the flop games and stuff. So with the flop and the stud games, it's better with 8. With the draw games, it's better with 7 or 6. But that's
so Matisow is going to raise
preference.
to 20 here, and is he going to draw 3 cards?
Well, no, he'll draw 2. He'll
2?
just pitch 2 of them, yeah.
The 3 and
So he'll pitch definitely the 3 of diamonds,
And
then he, whichever
either the 3 of clubs or the 3 of spades.
vibes on that one. You never know you always feel like you throw away the wrong one.
Sure.
And then throws away 2 3s and picks up 2 deuces.
Yeah.
See, that would have been an excellent card though if you would have picked up the deuce of spades.
And what's the minimum number of players that you would field here at a table? 4?
Probably 4.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely see 4-handed games. Like we were talking about it a little earlier, and once there's 12 or 13 players, we'd rather play 6 and 7-handed rather than have people on a list. But some people really like the shorthanded. That's just all preference. I like shorthanded a little bit more than most people in No Limit. And this, 7 people, 6, 7 people, that's perfect. Not too short, not too many. You're more involved. You've got more pots that you're involved in, but humbly, often in the triple draw games, the hands do take longer.
Nice hand here for Big Papa.
Beautiful hand. Beautiful hand.
Mike is really hoping to improve here, and he doesn't.
So he had hands. He had cards to improve to a win in some of them, but there's a lot of cards that would improve him. Yeah, see, with the split pot game, it's half so much. If he's just got a good Badugi, he can still win the deuce to 7. That's why he felt like he had to call on there.
Sure.
So if without the pair, there's still a lot of cards that he could hit that he doesn't want to see that make him a hand, like that one. If he would have just paired instead, he could have got away from it. But there was some, it was a fine. I would have certainly played his hand the way he did. But Big Papa Mike, he had a premium there. That was a good hand. All right, 2 hands left here of the Badusi, and then we're going to go to the 5-card Big O, Omaha High-Low. Getting some chip movement there. Just chipping up there for a minute. It's not going to go good for me. A little spoiler alert at some point. Now, one game we're not playing that has gotten some traction lately that might 5-card draw has been back in some of these mixed games.
Yeah, right.
And it's been very interesting to see how that works.
Yeah.
Everybody has always loved the low balls and the Omahas and the drama haws is the new hot thing, but the just 5-card draw, it's often in a mix where half of the pot is your best 5, just your 5-card draw hand, and then the other half is some various thing that whatever they got going. But maybe 2 years that's even really been a thing in all the mixed games. I haven't seen any sort of actual 5-card draw game played for high. So that's been interesting lately. Again, I know that's most people's first experience in poker, either stud or 5-card draw.
Yeah. Steve McQueen, Cincinnati kid.
Yeah. It's funny, we were talking about poker movies and so some of the more believable, less believable moments. Oh, nice. James was able to put the name of the game up in the upper left-hand corner, so you don't get lost during it, at least.
Wow, eye in the sky, coming to the rescue.
Beautiful.
Yep.
See, now here's me in another frustrating spot. The ace, I need that spade, but the ace plays high. Yeah, when you see... So, one of the frustrations of a mixed game player, drawing good for the wrong game. It's not the game I'm looking for. But for $10 in the small bet, I still got a call. Debating when I'm going to... what do I muck here? I mean, I got a 2-3-4 either way. So it's about as good as shape. The best 3-card draw that you can have in Badugi. So I definitely need to continue. Yeah.
So you drew 2.
Drew 2, right? Broke up the 4-card Badugi.
And now you have a 4-card Badugi.
Not only do I have a 4-card Badugi, but that 9 that would be the 9 smooth, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the 9, best possible 9, puts me in really good shape.
Now one more draw. Cody's going to take 1. And you're going to stand pat?
Yep.
Yep.
Certainly. This is a beaut.
Okay. He did get rid of the queen, and ooh. Not so good. Right?
2, 4, 5. No, he's got a 7
okay.
low. Yeah.
All right. So you're going to chop this.
Yeah. So I just called. I figured a chop is still coming in the last time, but my four card is good. And then one other thing, just as far as dealer procedures, that's a little different from the no limit. We already seen that Nick keeps it chopped up on the river beforehand.
Yeah.
But when you're in a split pot game and it goes heads up, we just leave the bets in front of each person. That way, at the end, if there's a scoop pot, one person will just slide them over to the other people. If it's a split pot, you keep what's in front of you.
Right.
And it just really saves time. Like I said, everybody will learn all the shortcuts on how to get things. It's not that important, and it doesn't slow it down that much. But you want to keep the game moving. We're playing for time, so the most hands that you can get in, any little thing like that really helps everything out. And then when you got good dealers who know when the proper way to set it up. If players, if you have a question about Omaha high-low, there's not always a low qualifier. The dealers are instructed to still make 2 pots no matter what, so it doesn't give away when it's possible and when it's not. You should either do it all the time or never. So
Right.
And it's been great here at the reserve. Anybody who gives these a try are patient with the dealers. I don't think it's as daunting as they think it is, though.
Right.
They come in and everybody's worried they deal no limit hold'em so much. We've had other dealers who did not want to deal the mixed games do it on the other days, and it's been perfectly fine.
Yeah. I was actually going to bring that point up as a dealer that no limit hold'em and Omaha are really my, but the way you guys I don't know, just the camaraderie that you have. If I was the last dealer on earth, you would probably still invite me to come in and deal because you're going to walk me through all that stuff.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
After a couple hours, I probably get the hang of it, right?
Yeah, that's 100% true. Normally, you'll find too. There seems to be like a dealer captain or two. Who's really, and especially you get in rooms with regulars and stuff. The dealers already know who to ask. They're already I think it's this. They'll kind of look up first, and you're like, yeah, this is the correct way. It's time for the turn now. So it's really super unintimidating. But here we go. We're going on to the next game here. Limit Big O. That's 5 card high-low. You get 5 whole cards. Must use exactly 2 from your hand, 3 from the board. Just to clarify again, you can use 2 different ones to make your high hand and your low hand. And the pot is split between the best high hand and the best qualifying low hand. Low hand must be 8 high or lower to qualify. And the nuts, royal flush for a high, simple enough. Ace 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's a wheel for a low. Your straights and flushes do not count against you for the low. So ace 2, 3, 4, 5 is what you're looking for. Never, I know you went into a little bit, but never even an Omaha high-low for you, Vic?
What's that?
Omaha high-low you've never played?
I have played.
A little bit.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Because our discussion was normally that's the first game that people kind of step into. Pot limit Omaha maybe. But other than Hold'em and Omaha, that's the first game that people kind of step a toe into and kind of get the taste for it.
No, I have. Yeah, I've spent some time in this game.
Excellent. Yeah.
Not proficiently.
Sure.
But
sure. That's just where you get the taste of it. Exactly.
Yeah. And the times that I've played it. If you want action, don't invite me. I'm going to be a nit because I'm going to sit there and just, analyze the low and the high made hand. You know, and that's when if I'm in, it's because I've got it.
Humbly, that is one of the bigger disadvantages of the new players. You can tell they always, do come into it on the tighter end. Everybody expects, you don't know what you're doing, and you see all these cards, and you might play more hand. Yeah, it doesn't usually work out that way.
No.
And as you see, you'll learn what hands to open up with more as time goes on. But like I said, anytime you come in, it's easy to figure out quickly what's going on. The dealers are always friendly in the players, but. Oh, yeah, this one. This is an interesting hand here, Vic.
So we're going to see the odds here just based on the high. I don't believe we were able to program the high-low odds for this game.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So you'll have to navigate us through who's got the best low hand opportunities.
Okay, so evidently both the 5s folded. So with this board, I'm drawing dead on the high, which is very hard to do. I had no idea I was going to be in that kind of shape. But as you see, I have a wrap wheel draw. I have a 2, 4, 5 filling in with the ace 3. So I'm in really bad shape because Cody has the same deuce 4. I could counterfeit him. If a deuce or 4 comes, I'll have the low to myself. So while it says I'm dead, I could win the low outright or a portion of it. But as you see, we both hate what comes, and this is a spot. I just thought he had too good of a hand. I didn't even consider it. That's a spot I could have bluffed.
Yeah.
And I win 0, and instead he wins the whole pot. So there needs to be more thought put into the stuff on the river, and I'm certainly guilty of it. You know, I had such a good draw. It looked like I had a draw, but that's still a hand that no way Cody could call. All the lows missed, all the flush draws missed, unless he had a 3. And
I saw somebody muck a 3.
Yeah.
Yep.
But he's not going to call likely unless he has a 3. Maybe if he has an ace. But for $20, and the pot's 160. Again, it only has to work 1 in 8 times. So that might have been a spot. But as you see me, I just snap checked behind. I didn't even consider it. But one thing that does happen, you'll notice if, and that might be a thing to take advantage of. If you get to show down a bluff, if you get called and you have to show your hand first, that stops people from folding to you on the river with any sort of pot odds prices.
Okay.
So you could use that to your advantage, and that would have been another reason why a bet would have been good by me, and I didn't take it. Yeah, Darren, we appreciate some of the best games for dealers to deal. Players are always chatty and friendly. Yeah, really helps keep the day moving. And again, everybody understands that they're happy that wherever they're at is hosting these type of mixed games, and always want to help out the dealers and the establishment. But here's a big action one, so we're gonna have to weed through this one. Again, these are only the odds for the high. At the moment, aces are good, huh? Nope, kings and 7s. Oh, I remember this hand, though.
And Big Papa sticking around with the 2 pair and now a full house. But didn't he also have an opportunity before that 7 came for the low?
Beforehand, he did.
Okay.
But again, it would have went runner. But once the turn came, there's no low possible whatsoever.
Low. Yeah.
But yeah, he had backdoor low draws. Yeah. Obviously 7-7 is where you want to get. He's got quads now, but his play was perfectly fine. Like me, I folded a top and bottom pair earlier. I had no possibility at the low, and I was basically praying to hold on for dear life. I would have needed a full house or something, and here, his hand's completely different. He's got the 2 pair plus the low draws, and there he goes. He goes 7-7. Now Cody feels terribly about this. He knows he's beat, but again, $20. The pot's $335. So if Tom's ever bluffing 1 in 12 times.
Oh, the pot's 160. You were looking at Cody's.
Oh, I'm looking at a stack.
You're looking at Cody's stack. Yeah.
I'm looking at a stack. Yes, 160. So 8-1. That makes more sense. I was wondering how this pot got so big. Thank you for clarifying. Well, yeah, 160. So even 8-1. So if people start folding this kind of stuff to you, you're playing too tight. The fact that he's thinking this much, I don't know what to think of it. Because I do think Mike's kind of tight. He'd tell you that. I would not fold this. I would call this. And I wouldn't have thought that much about it. But he knows. And there he goes. Yeah, he knows. He calls, gets showed the 7. He thought he could have, he would have lost the kings full and queens full, which is what he thought he could have had all along. But nice hand there from Big Papa, taking it down. Yeah, T-Bolt talking about how much fun he had to appreciate you. One of the good ones. Yeah, he knows he has the 7. No, seems like an incredibly hard game to make any money. So let me talk about that for a second.
Yes, please.
There's one thing I will say about mixed games is it tends to be incredibly small, not incredibly, but small stakes or incredibly big stakes. There's not a lot of the middle ground. This 10-20 is what I would call the middle ground. 10-20, 20-40 would be like the middle ground. There's a lot of 4-8. There's a lot of 3-6. We play 6-12 in our normal biweekly game here, and that's starting to get to, but. I mean, especially at the reserve with a $5 time rake and not a pot rake, I do think there is money to be made. There's definitely skill in the game. There's edges to be had. Define any real money. You'd have to get a big enough game that's player dependent on what you think that. But there is definitely a skill gap to be made. You want to be proficient. Somebody who's proficient at all the games is probably better than somebody who's really good at a couple games and really bad at a couple games. Being able to learn the new games when they come around and to be able to be friendly enough to keep the games going is real skills in this, and will pay off monetarily. I mean, limit. I mean, no limit is a new phenomenon. Pre-2000, almost everything was limit. So,
yes,
and,
right.
and people have been making careers out of poker for as long as poker's been around.
Absolutely.
So certainly, if you look at it as like as a limit, is small pots type thing, and not be able to make money, I disagree with that. Skill to be had, money to be made.
$10 to call here, Frenchie.
Yeah, I'm mostly thinking about Mattisau raised from late position here. He's got a premium for that. If anything, I was thinking about 3-betting there out of the big blind. Certainly calling, but I ended up just flatting there. I do respect Mattisau's game in this, and obviously there I've outflop him. I remember this hand though now. But Mattisau's got a great two-way hand. He really did have a premium there, so. He gets check raised. He doesn't love it, but he definitely has to take a card out here. There. We can discuss that a tad bit more, but that was probably fine, and Rut-row makes the straight there on the river. But just a point of skill here, honestly. Good bet by Mattisau here on the river.
Yeah.
I check raised him on the flop. I showed aggression every time. A lot of the cards, the 10 jack is the most common one that you would have with the 10 there.
Right.
So a lot of the cards, and I missed it. He knew that my check wouldn't be a full house, and with the pot odds, I had to bet him out. Honestly, That was a really good bet on the river by him. I didn't think he would have that. So new to the game. So his question is here, how skillful can it be if it's so easy to draw and you can't really bluff? So we've talked about the bluffing a couple times, and we've seen a couple of the bluffs early on. You get good value from your bluffs. I feel like several of us have missed chances to bluff. So the fact that when people say you can't really bluff, I certainly disagree with that portion. And also just paying off less, sneaking in those extra bets. Mattisau got an extra big bet there out of me that I feel possibly everybody else at the table, at least half of them, would not have made. Would have just checked behind and been happy to take down the pot. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of skill. I mean, this is a very math-based. A lot of them are mixed games are very math-based. You've got the expected value or you don't. But if you're if just like any game, if you've got a small edge and you're taking it hand over hand over hand, it's going to add up.
Yeah, and I would add to that occasionally what I've seen in these games is you'll get somebody that's a calling station, and then they really aren't hitting anything. I'm not going to use Cody individually as an example, but his chip stack. Mm-hmm. So you've got an opportunity, if Cody is running bad for a couple of hours, to bluff somebody like that out of a hand. Because they've already been calling off most of their stack, and at some point they're going to have to put their finger in the dam to keep it from happening. Sure. And that's when those opportunities to bluff in limit games are available to you.
And that's where that's where the skill comes in reading players and knowing players. This is good. You get with the same people, but you be able to tell the difference of when they're tired of losing and want to fold more because bad things have happened, or sometimes they're the other way and want to call more to make their money back. Reading the situation is perfect. But Darren here with a good comment, and Big Papa agreeing with us. Limit games are all about saving a big bet or gaining a big bet. Knowing when to make thin value and raises is where the edge is. And while there's obviously a couple other spots and things that can be done, that is the number one, and it's a beautiful thing. So limit games, trying to play as close to perfect as possible, it seems. So I agree with that statement. And if your comparison is no limit, I mean, as we see with all the GT over and solvers, I mean, people are trying to make that as a perfect as a science as it already is. So it's not like you're getting anything different there. Yeah. Right, Big Papa's making more good decisions versus bad ones versus no limit, where one bad decision can wreck you. Absolutely true. That's kind of what I like more about it. Everybody thinks about a situation where they're betting down and they get drawn out on by a subpar hand, and they don't think about all the times that still would have happened and ended up being 10 times the amount pot.
Yeah.
But all this is good discussion. Excellent. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for the questions, Noah. Anybody had more questions? This is the exact kind of debate we want to get into, and not getting super into the weeds of strategy or anything, but just how things flow, what you might see at your game, makes it all interesting. Let's see, just a little more back into the hands. Got Josh opening it up here. A very good two-way hand. He's got a suited ace along with his ace deuce, ace king queen. This is the type of hand you want to win with. Even if the board comes all high and there's no low, you still got a great chance with ace king queen. Obviously, you've got the ace deuce for the nut low draw. There we go. We got a four-way pot here. $20 already up to 80. Ace 3-7. This is where it always gets interesting too. You're going for low spots and you end up making pairs. But look at, that's a flop for Dan. Wow.
Yes, right.
Yeah, he's got two pair and an uncounterfeitable low. That is a beautiful flop for Dan. And while we see again, these percentages are only for the high. Dan 46% on the high and nearly locked up on the low. He could split it, but he can't lose it. So he's in good shape.
That changed things for Josh with that diamond.
Yeah.
But that river doesn't help him. Or does it help Dan get paid off?
As we see here, helps Dan get paid off.
Yeah.
Yep. So we talk about skill and things. That's part of it too. What are your outs, and what are your negative outs?
Yeah.
Your outs that get you that make you pay people off, and it's not as simple as, well, you should just start folding those ones because you don't know exactly where they are. There's a range of hands that are still profitable to call, but are going to be, but only because you're getting such good odds. And if you could have got out earlier, you wouldn't call. Oh, I think he ended up getting quartered. They
he
had
got
the same
quartered
low.
there.
That's what it was. Yes.
Yep.
Yep. So what happened there? Dan took the whole high. He got half of the pot, and then the low. They both had the same low, and they split that low. So that's called getting quartered. Dan got 75%, and Josh got a quarter.
So we're talking a lot about the history of poker and the history of these games and the history of no limit hold'em. And really, these mixed games, particularly things like 5-card stud, 7-card stud, have a longer history. And no limit hold'em, obviously, everybody goes back to the moneymaker days when it really kicked things off for no limit hold'em, and the popularity is growing again post-COVID. But also what we're seeing, and you are probably more aware of this, are these mixed games like coming back. I don't want to call it like a lava lamp thing, because it's not really so much a trend. Is many of these young players that have come up playing No Limit Hold'em, they're playing online, and as they get exposed to these games, they're like, hey, I want to play these as well. I want to have that challenge. I want to have that mental challenge of a more sophisticated game, if you will.
You hit the nail on the head there too, and it's not a bubble like Madisau created, but there is, every time you go to the World Series, there's more mixed games and everything. And whenever you go to a series, there's more mixed games, even if it's just the round by rounds like here at the Reserve. We're already pushing for the 8 games. At the World Series now they have a daily $250 horse tournament, to where a year or two ago it was weekly, and before that there wasn't any dailies. It was just part of the thing. And now we I don't know if you heard us talking about it. Tom is got a trip to Vegas here real soon. There's a mixed game series at the Orleans coming up that he's going to. These little things pop up every once in a while. You know, $100 to $400 buy-in tournaments, so very fairly priced. Not just the big 5 and 10,000 buy-ins that it used to take to get into the World Series. So really, it's becoming more accessible, more wanted, and you know, a little part of most successful tournament series.
So Cody's hand really improves on this turn card.
Oh yeah.
I was a little concerned about his hand before this, but
so like, you know, Ace King versus Ace Queen is the classic when an ace comes in Hold'em.
yeah.
The Ace Deuce and the Ace 3 low draw is the classic, where it's like you don't feel good about it, but often just have to call.
Yeah.
And he got lucky here catching the deuce there, but what did he do? Not make a low? Yeah, the low didn't come in.
no low came in.
Excellent. And then Joe takes down the pot. Yeah, so that's interesting. Yeah, Dan did flop the world on that one. 3/4 he got. So Noah says, I would die in a limit game. I love some good pot odds. Well, the short answer is if you're correct, and that's the pot odds, that will equate to money in the long run. I just don't want to get too crazy. Less critical in a cash game since there's always a reload, but in limit tournaments, saving a bet or two late in the tournament can be a huge difference. That's certainly true. One thing that happens in the tournament is, you know, you get to the 10 big bets, average stacks really quick in those. And then, yeah, every situation becomes no limit important at that point. Couple hands here in Big O. Again, this is be the end of our rotation here that we have for this event here. This is Big O. Once after this, we'll be back to the deuce to 7 triple draw. Again, our rotation: deuce to 7 triple draw, Omaha high low, regular 4 card, Badugi, deuce to 7 single draw. That's no limit. And we got Badusi and Big O. Next time we have this on a stream, we will have the software ready for the stud games. We did have to take them off as the software wasn't quite ready for that.
So 2 pair and possible wheel here for Joe. Nobody's got the heart draw.
Yeah, and as you see me here, I'm betting out. I raised pre-flop with the ace deuce, and then I flop top and bottom pair, but I bet into them and get raised here. That 7 comes, and I thought he might have had ace deuce too, and so that 7 really helps. I thought really helped me, but as we see, not good.
And so there is a low. Right?
Ace 2, 7, 8. Yes. Yes, there is a low. He's got the 3-4, and I've got the I've got what would be called a live 3 here. There's 4 cards out there. I pair all the other ones, but using one of them, my 3 is live. He's got a 3 and a 4, so it's better. So I just kind of mumble to myself here, but he's got the whole pot. I tell him go ahead. I just need to have a little funeral for my hand before I let it go, as I can't believe I was actually in as bad a shape as I thought I was. I thought I was in much better shape. Not that surprised I lost on that river, but frustrated. I'm in a midst of a little frustrating set here. I was up to 1,200 at one point. You know, bleeding down 300 down to 900. Big Papa still up. Joe G doing good. T-Bold's down some. Cody's had it rough though. He had two really big hands that he was I mean, we don't know the exact math on this. It felt like he was in really good shape going to the last card, but ended up with 0% of it. Oh yeah, this hand now. So here's one of the the mixed game specials. Once one person limps in, it kind of gives people permission to limp in from there with their hands. I take my invitation, and ends up being a raise. Who raised there?
Josh raised.
Josh raised with aces and jacks there. So as you see, he's only got ace-8 for the low. You normally want two-way hands, but this is a perfectly fine. If the board comes all high with no low cards, you can take it down, take down the whole pot frequently. It can get sticky here. I've got diamonds, so does he. I got to give T-Bold Tom a little grief on this hand. So he flops the straight with the ace-deuce. But he's got plenty of cards he needs to fade. That card came, I'm blocking 2 5s, which, in Omaha is a little less valuable than in Hold'em. But I am blocking 2 5, and suddenly I've got the second nut low. Only ace-deuce is better. So now I'm stuck in the hand. Josh likes his aces and diamond draws. He's stuck in the hand. This pot's bloating. $260 in the pot. Brick River. I know we can't hear him. Tom said later that he was saying in his head, king, king, king. That's what came. And I said, you don't know how good it is because you knew you didn't need a diamond. I had the king of diamonds in my hand. So, yes, any king was good for him. And here he is. He bets out. Everybody bailing. I was kind of surprised by this, and I know I don't feel good about it, but the pot's way too good for that one, and I call. Dan agrees with me, but he's got a call. Now Tom's out there. Yeah, T-Bold. He goes, I got a pretty good hand here, and he's really not trying to slow roll us. He says, like, I got the 8 high straight and the ace deuce, and we go, nut, nut. He goes, that's not nut. Oh, I guess it is. He complete the nut high and the nut low. And there he is chuckling when he realizes it. Obviously, we could have had the same hand in either of the spots, and he could have been quartered or split the pot in a terrible world. But there he is, scoops it all. None of us had it. He got 2 calls there, an extra 60 and 280. Yeah, $350 pot, $340 pot. Takes it down. Nice hand. Perfect river. Yep, calling for the king. We card dead for an hour. You pick up that hand, that'll wake you right up. And there he goes. Tom hasn't said a word there for a minute. There he got chirping chips.
And if you're just joining us, we are the Reserve in Toledo, Ohio. We've got a special feature for our live stream tonight. This is a mixed game. It was actually played earlier. We are rebroadcasting this. We really wanted to take a stab at this. If you want to call it a little bit of a trial. I think it's something we'll be seeing more of, and plus we'll probably do more of it live. We wanted to be able to have Eli and Joe come in here to open things up and go through some of the descriptions of these games, and we'll continue to cover that for you. But we're going till 10:15 tonight, and just a special edition. And we want to thank everybody that's joining us. What's really been special about this is the number of people coming on that are very familiar with these games and adding questions and comments to this process, and greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, again, that's why we got Vic in the booth. He's kind of playing more of the common man who's not used
Yes.
used to the mixed games, really in the poker scene though, and then as well as more seasoned people that have been there. Me and Joe, people in the chat. Darren knows what's up. But most of the players are in there. Mike and Tom even talking with everybody. So yeah, no question is too small for these. We want to make this as inviting as we can for any players, but I really believe that this is it keeps the poker community healthy with various things to choose from. It would be great if we could get different stakes, so it's not always just if you think 10-20 is too high, great. I'd love to have a smaller version. If you think it's not enough, great. I'd love to have everywhere from a 4-8 to a 20-40 game going, weekly, monthly, bi-weekly, anything like that would be great. But I was a little. It's tough to get these things going. There was some trepidation the first time we did it, but since the first week we had this just off stream at the 612 and now into this, it's been great. Thank everybody who's been involved, anybody who's had questions. I really appreciate it. Good evening, Chris. Good to see you. But here we are back to the action on the Big O. Got heads up between T-Bold and Joe.
So he gets the wheel with the deuce.
Tom again, he knows the wheel card makes the nut low, so it ain't good, but still has to call with the 10, and there it is. And here we go. We're back to the top of the rotation. Again, but once the button gets to heat 1, we change the game. New game for the next round. Deuce to 7 triple draw. 4 betting rounds. You get 5 hold cards dealt and 3 draws. The entire pot goes to the lowest high card. There is absolutely no qualifiers, so the lowest pot will take it down. Aces play high in this. Straights and flushes do count against you. So the nuts is 7, 5, 4, 3, 2. We call that the wheel in this game, and that's what you want.
And this is a triple draw game. And everybody's getting 4 cards.
This is a 5-card one.
5 cards. So, again, this is where you're only playing 6-handed.
Correct.
Of the 8 players. As it revolves around, then 2 players sit out. Not enough cards in the deck to play more than 6-handed here.
Triple draw. Yep, we're going to open it up here. Joe's got the 2, 3, 5 to start with. Good 3 cards. I remember one of my first ever poker books, the Super System 2, wasn't the first one to come out, and there was a whole section, the Daniel Granu's section, was on deuce to 7 triple draw.
Oh, really?
And I can't tell you. The only thing I remember is just how important the deuce is, because if you've got a wheel draw and you don't have a deuce, it's not going to be smooth. You're going to have straight draws in there that could mess you up. And obviously, aside from the deuce being the most valuable card, you block it from having other people. So one of the things that happens if you get a hand with at least a pair, but if you ever get like trip deuces, those are the best hands to bluff with, to snow with. You're just going to check behind, not draw any cards, keep bluffing, and they're not going to get those deuces.
How many cards could you draw?
Up to 5.
Up to 5, okay.
Yeah. We don't play in this mix Drama Hall, but in traditional mixed games, that's the only one that does have a cap.
Okay.
Of 3 cards. But everything else is draw as much as you want. And if you want to pay to draw 5 new cards, God bless you.
And flushes and straights work against you in this game.
So you want the absolute worst hand.
Which Matisow has right now?
In the middle of the draw, but yes. He's got a 9 high. Looks like Big Papa draws a pair. Yeah, Matisow makes an 8 there. That's a good hand. So Joe there has a 10, but he's got a 2, 3, 4, 5 draw. 7 makes him the stone nuts. And as we see Mike here, Big Papa, he got the one card he didn't want. That's about drawing smooth. If he had a deuce instead of any of those cards, he'd be in great shape. But instead he made a straight. And no matter what he draws, he's going to have another straight draw in there, so he just lets it go. And I think that was very prudent at that time.
So Joe is going to get rid of his 10 and pick up the ace and give himself a straight, which he doesn't want.
Which he does not want.
And Mattisau stood pat, didn't take a draw, and he's going to take that pot down.
Yeah, perfectly fine play. I mean, Joe had a really good draw. One thing that does happen on the river sometimes is you get weird hands that it's really hard to get called with, even though you have the best hands a good portion of the time. And Mike didn't want to get raised there, so he just knuckled and took it down. Yeah, Jackie. Thanks for noticing. Nick M and Brian were great. We shouted them out at the beginning. They really helped us keep this together. Everybody here is great, but that went well.
And again, we are the reserve here in Toledo, Ohio. A special edition of our live stream cash game. Previous played, and we are commentating on this to educate Vic. And if I start playing these games and it goes south for me, I'm going to give my wife your phone number. Because I could see where this would be a lot of fun to play. I have to tell you, my evolution playing poker since I was, 6 years old, 7 years old, big card family. My grandmother used to travel around rural areas of Minnesota looking for penny ante poker games, and so a lot of card. My dad was a very good bridge player, so cards were a big part. And then getting into high school and playing poker with my football buddies and stuff, and all of that was, in between and crisscross and all of those games.
Right.
And so I continued to do that, going to house games and playing and stuff. And then there was a Monday night limit 60 players, pass the deal, $20 buy-in, Texas Hold'em tournament every Monday night. And I started playing that, and I thought, I don't want to play those games anymore. I just want to play this. To me, that was the game. Again, the only ones of the mixed games that you do would be the stud games.
Sure.
Or the draw games. But I was done with crisscross and night baseball, and
our timelines in our life are the only thing that's different. It's exactly the same. So I started with the poker family. That was my grandma. So that was probably in early high school, was like the quarter, in between, and crisscross and the wild card games, whatever you could choose. And then, Mattisau happened, 2003, like when I graduated high school. So just before that, one of the friends in the group was he was the guy who started picking Texas Hold'em for his dealer choice game. Oh. We were like, what are we doing here? And when we realized there was tournaments and stuff, it got turned on. And here we go. We're still playing deuce to 7 triple draw here. We're heads up. Joe and Dan. Dan with a beaut hand, though. 8-7 made. Joe with the 9-7. We're on the river. Again, on Facebook, it's the mixed game players of Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio. Here's two of the Indiana representatives here. Heads up, Joe and Dan. They came down together. So Joe knows him well. Doesn't like it with this 9. He can beat a 9-8, but it's not can't beat a lot of 9s. Is he really making that kind of value bet? Probably not as often. Doesn't like it, but he is getting 6-1 almost. And there he goes. He decides the pot odds were enough, but didn't like that sticky spot. That's one of those spots. If you can make that fold, save that bet or two, really make a difference. But he knows if he ever lets him bluff him there, it is a disaster. Getting bluffed is bad. There we go. Opening up the next one. Once again, deuce to 7 triple draw in this game. Looking for the lowest possible hand. Anybody who feels like every time they play Hold'em, things can't get any worse, this is the game for you. Worst hand wins. Mike's got the button. We're going to start it off here. Folding over to Josh. Yeah, he's raising it there. He's had enough of this. Oh, that's right. I remember this one now. 3-bet from Frenchie. So here's the thing about these hands. It's tough to... You want to be... Keeping balanced in this is important, and I'm not saying I am. I'm not. But when I stay pat there, there are a few hands I could have there. If I've got like a good 9 or 10, now besides the fact that Josh has got a premium draw here, he's got a 7-6. He's perfectly fine. You know, there should be a lot more hands here than just this beautiful hand that I have, the nut 8. Tippy top of my range though. Oh, he had that good of a hand? Damn. That was a good... That was... so here's another one. He just flatted there. Yeah, I did show that one. That's right. But yeah, he made a good hand there. Had to call. Had to pay me off. He had a couple cards that would make him a winner. That wasn't one of them. That was my best pre-flop hand by far. Just simply a check raise and bet it down. Netted a pretty decent pot there, though. And there we go. Tom opening it up with a fold here. A few hands left of the deuce to 7. Once again, this is a round-by-round game, meaning every time the button comes around to seat 1, the game changes. Anybody who might have missed, here's the games that are in the mix. This is the first game of the rotation. We already went through one time. We've got deuce to 7 triple draw, Omaha high-low, Badoogie, deuce to 7 single draw. That's a no-limit variant. And then there's Badusi and Big O in this. Again, most of our mixes have some stud games in there. We will have that next time if it ever comes back to stream. This is a special stream here, just getting some interest and hopefully a few people wanting to play these mixed games with us. We're going to be trying for some lower and bigger stakes, possibly from 4-8 to 20-40. Biggest learning curve, Vic? Getting 5 cards into the box. As you see, everybody's trying different things.
Yes.
It's been interesting.
I like Joe's formation there.
Just
the
a little
pyramid, little pyramid there works. I should work pretty well.
Just a little inside baseball. We started today at noon.
Yes.
But the first hour was just practice for the eye in the sky and us getting the cards and the dealer on. We didn't start recording until 1. Recorded 1 till about 5, and then we'll be airing that 4 hours today. But it was really fun with all those guys and learning everything too. Getting everything straight. I mean, it's not often, you need the World Series has some mixed games and stuff on there, but you don't see this at any of the regular poker streams.
Right.
You really need the high end. So this is really an interesting insight we get to see here. Yeah, that hand was also devastating. That was a went bad for Josh. Sometimes you catch the hands you want, it don't work out.
I was just going to say the only way Josh can lose this is if somebody else gets the nuts, and there it is for Dan, right?
There it is.
Yeah. Wow.
Dang.
Yes.
I knew he had. I knew he had a couple of hands there, but it went way
Yeah.
worse than I thought it did for a
Man.
couple of hands for him. That's a grim one. Man, he did have a good hand. Yeah, we see how it can go bad quick. These limit games, there will be some times you get some head scratchers, but that one, I mean, if this was any sort of a no limit variant, it would have been all in. Again, in the triple draw, 2 people do sit out, as you see those normal no-NIT buttons there. Oh yeah, but meaning to ask you, Vic. You say this is like a little special event, next week too, right? 25-50 no limit. I've been telling people I'm excited about that one.
Yes, yeah, big game next Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be talking about that all week. 25-50 no limit hold'em cash game, and there's going to be some big money on the table.
Couple of we did have one questioner. Do we have any insight into the buy-in exactly on that? I'm sure it's just going to be a minimum, but no official word.
I don't know that I have the official word. I will work to get that answer. Trying to think who I can. Maybe Eye in the Sky, if you know, but.
If not, we'll definitely have the updates on the Tuesday and Thursday streams.
The Tuesday game is a $3,000 buy-in. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna guess that it's probably 5,000.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that. I say all this about being tired of Hold'em, but I'm excited to see that one. I'll be watching next week for sure. Is it, you and Dominic in the booth? Or maybe Brian.
I think it's Brian.
Oh yeah. Saturday, Brian. Yeah, I'm excited for that one though. Do we know anything about the lineup? Here's Chris asking if there's any Cleveland players.
Yeah, I don't think that we have any Cleveland players. I think it's all Michigan. I believe it's Jared, the Bear, has put this one together. I would think it's going to be Vampire, probably Ned, some of the other Michigan regulars, probably OG. Some of the regulars from Tuesday, and then I think Lonnie.
Yeah, I've commented on Lonnie in the big game there before.
Yeah.
That's fun. Yeah, cool. See some people coming back. We got some extra money in the poker community from the Millie.
Yes,
they're stepping up for the big game. I'm excited for that.
Right.
So we're back to the triple draw action. Got Josh taking the lead here. He's got the jack high with a wheel draw. That's a very good hand. Mattis out with, I thought he had the made 9, but he had a pair of 3s. That's a good fold. I mean, it was a 2-card draw, but he knew his 9 wouldn't be good, so he would need a 2-card draw. That's why he folded, I'm sure.
Which one of these 4s is Dan most likely going to get rid of? The club?
I mean the club, but in this, it don't matter at this point. Only if you get to like 4 or 5.
Okay, so he let go with a spade, and he improved his hand.
Yeah. See, you got a club anyways, and it's still not an issue.
Right. He's got 8-5. T-Bolt's got 8-6, right?
So, well, the ace plays on them both, but yeah, if they checked it down.
It's ace high. That's right.
Yeah, so it's ace high,
Yep.
right? So Josh has got the best hand
He
here
does
with the
have,
9-7.
okay.
They both drew bad there, but what you were saying is correct if it was low. But the ace is high. 2, 3, 4, 5, 7.
Now in this triple draw, we had 3 people in the hand after they got their initial cards. How often do these hands not make it all the way to the third draw? Rarely.
It depends on the situation. I would say rarely, honestly. When you open up and get the first call, I would say the easiest spot to not get to the river is honestly just before any draws. If you have a hand worthy of calling and getting one draw, it's unlikely you want to fold for the small bet. There's occasionally a fold for the first big bet on. So after the second draw, there'll be some folding there, and that's probably the best time to pick up a little bluffing if you want to. But there's certainly folding on the river on the last draw when you bust your draws and maybe get bluffed. It's you're not making big folds at that point, but certainly there's times it ends along the way.
Okay. Yep. So no cap on that game next Saturday with a $5,000 buy-in. So we're going to see a lot of money on the table next Saturday.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I love seeing all the purple and the oranges on the table. All right, we go to the draw. Tom's taking, looks like 2. We'll get that up soon. Oh, T-bold. Deuce, 3, 4, 6, 7. This is number 2, second best possible hand. He's been out 10. Everybody's hoping they don't make a hand now. Dan, oh wow, Dan made what looks like a better hand, but he made a straight. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can't have a 6 low. But it's definitely worth continuing, yeah. Let's see if he makes what I think is the right discard here. I'm sure he does.
4 of diamonds?
5 of diamonds.
5 of diamonds,
Yeah.
okay.
Now he can't make, but if he knew what he was against, he would probably fold the 6 and just pray for the 7. That's his only real out. But
yeah.
Oh, he did get rid of the 4 diamonds.
Now he has to get rid of the queen.
I wonder if that's better. You said that. Is that better? Regardless of what he did, that was terrible, but... Oh, Tom tried to get the check raising on the river. Couldn't get it. Good check behind by Dan. He wouldn't have got called anyways. Perfectly fine hand. I'm going to have to ask about that one.
T-bold?
No, just about discarding the 5 or the 4. Just because you said 4 and he discarded the 4 and I said the 5. I'm wondering if I'm wrong. Maybe I am, because in the middle, maybe it does help with the straight draw a little bit. But either way, I think you're just the only card you want to avoid is what you discarded.
True.
I have to see that. I'm not sure.
Yeah. That's there. It's quite possible that's a coin toss.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of times in those spots, but.
Now, of these players that are playing the mixed games, are there certain players that have a better acumen for certain of these games than others? Like if you go 2-7 triple draw and you say, "Oh yeah, if you want to learn about that game, you got to go to T-bold. If you want to learn about Big O, you got to go to Josh." I mean, I'm just
and the answer is absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely, yeah. So you'll get varying. Everybody certainly has in their head what they think their best game is, what they think their worst game is. How much specialist it gets, I'm not sure it narrows down so much into one. But definitely, that's why I think it works so well, is you get players to play good and bad games. So hopefully my games you're bad at, and then I want to be able to hold my own at the games I'm worse at. One thing that you do get into sometimes with the mixed game is you get people who don't like a game and will take their break every time that comes around. That kind of tends to hurt just kind of how things work. And everybody's played all the games here, and even on the off-stream games, so it's been great. But me and Joe have this thing we've talked about. Everybody thinks that their best game is Omaha High-Low because that's always the first, like I said, the first game that everybody stepped into.
Okay.
They probably have the more hands in that game than the other ones.
Sure.
And obviously it can't be everybody's, everybody can't be the best at it. So
Yeah.
that is a little interesting one. So I think the strategy is to, maybe focus on some of the lesser known games that are played more frequently and get more of an edge like that. But there's all kinds of, mostly it just boils down to what you think is the most fun to play. Deuce to 7 triple draw, and Josh ended up with a flush, not where you want to be. Wow. Cody really is running against it here. Josh making a 7-6. Oh my God. Cody's got a 7 and is going to lose. Absolutely raising. I mean, this is the biggest cooler we've seen in these draw games up to this point. Wow. 7-6-5 versus 7-6-4. And we're only on the second draw. One draw to go. Josh laying low, just calls.
Are they going to go pat? They're going to, yeah.
Certainly. No
Yep.
way anybody could draw.
Yep. Josh going to raise? Just call.
So I'm halfway with him that Cody represented strength. But he only, there's only one hand that beat him. I would have certainly raised. And I think Josh he said that as much afterwards. He's like, kind of got ahead of himself there. But Cody's been, this is what we've already been saying, that Cody's been getting the run of it and definitely been coolered the most. And then by far the biggest cooler today was that one right there. By far. He's lucky that wasn't a single, it would have been different in single draw, but in single draw he would have lost the whole stack. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Josh. He had a couple coolers earlier, and that was the biggest one of the day. Yeah, I hear you. Oh, you're letting him off the hook. That kind of makes sense, too. That makes more sense. I remember us talking about a little bit about it. You were talking about raising. But obviously, that's all I'm saying is that if looking for the most money, that it would raise there. But that makes perfect sense to me and nice of you. That was a little bit different, but yeah, that was a good call. That was a good just call too against me.
So Joe G probably has the greatest opportunity here if he can draw something good for his king, a 5 or a 4, but he gets a jack.
Yeah, but you're right. He's drawing smooth. None of them make a straight. So yeah, he was in good shape there.
In the meantime, does he still have the best hand? He does, doesn't he?
2, 3, 4. Nope, Cody does now.
Cody? Okay.
Yeah, we're waiting on his draw still. That's what they were getting the card
Ah,
straight.
there it is.
His card
Okay.
didn't so I finally figured out when they're still dark, they're in the midst of drawing, and then it'll light up when the card comes in.
Okay.
And there you go. Cody drew good there. Draw coming in here. Cody staying pat. Mattisau and Joe, 1 and 2 respectively. Brick for Mattisau. Lord, Joe drew 2 and got that, man. I knew this went bad for Cody today, and it's gone worse than I remember it. Joe drew 2 on this hand, Vic, and drew the 6-4
Oh, my.
into that 7. And now raising, and Cody just knows. His debate here is to just fold or to call and break the 9. But there's only 2 cards that improve you, and that's an 8 and a 7. And as we see, a 7's a chop, and an 8 is no good. Yeah, Tom. Wow, is this worse than you remembered? Because this is worse than I thought. Yeah, you're right. It was the last 2 games. There he goes, but he can't fold. Too much money in the pot. They're both going to call.
And they're both going to draw 1. Joe's going to stand pat.
Yeah, I'm not even pot. Did Jody not? Cody didn't.
I thought he drew 1. He drew 1. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yep.
The draw just came down. That's what it is. And he
And
paired up.
Paired.
Little did he know that's a perfectly good card for him, so he doesn't pay off anymore.
Right.
An 8 would have paid him off and lost, and a 7. Well, I mean, he would have loved a 7. That would have been a chop, but obviously drawing thin there. Joe has been running good on this one, though. That was I mean, I would have all these hands I would have played like he did, but that was the time to catch that one. Joe bets, and that, disciplined fold from Mattisau.
Yes.
See, that's one of those things. There's a spot people can go awry. There's so much money.
Mistake right
yeah,
there.
There's
right.
so much money in there, but if he's just never ever bluffing there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't be. He'd have been crazy. But there we
Time
go.
for another game.
Yep, let's go. New game. Omaha high-low, 8 or better. This is, again, everybody thinks it's the best game. Got some good reps in this. 4 whole cards. Must use exactly 2 from your hand, 3 from the board. Once again, you can use 2 different cards to make each of the high and the low hands. They're separate. Pot split between the best high hand and the best qualifying low hand. Low hand must be 8 high or lower to qualify. Nuts, royal flush for the high. Ace 2, 3, 4, 5, any suit for the low. A lot of people just call the steel wheel the nuts, as though you just can't be beat in the high, even though it technically isn't.
Yeah, Shimmy, you've tuned in for a special edition of Saturday Night Poker here at the live stream at the Reserve, and we have a mixed game going on. This was recorded earlier, and Eli and Joe were commentating for the first hour. Then I'm jumping in. I am in the learning seat and asking all kinds of questions, as are all of the folks here on the chat, which is very welcome. But we've got a number. There were 7 games tonight.
There was 7.
7 different games. Yep. And we'll talk about that in a minute. As soon as this right now,
yeah.
It's 08 Omaha high-low.
There we go. And on the river, no low possible. So these kings. Oh, yeah, this one. This is one where Mattisau got it straight 1 outer. Mattisau had king 7. He had trips and hit a king on the river. And Dan had. I wouldn't have folded Dan's hand for the record, but smack that 1 outer. He didn't know how bad it was. But just a smooth call there. Doesn't make it too bad for Mattisau. Good flat call. Yeah, good time with the dealer change. Yeah, Shimmy. How is it possible? A little Eli and Joe inception we had earlier, hearing us in the booth and on the stream. We came in at noon today and played. Started recording from 1 to 4, and here we are trying to spread these mixed games trying to spread these mixed games. Hopefully you can come and play sometimes with us. We're going to be playing 6-12 limit on most days. We're playing 10-20 here. Though we have one big bet game in there, deuce to 7 single draw. That's played with a 5-5 blind and a $5 big blind ante with a 250 cap.
And a great way to get more information on this particular group of guys, particularly Joe and Frenchie. If you go to Facebook, there's a group called Mixed Game Poker Players of Indiana, Michigan, Ohio. You request to join the group. You would have to be a criminal to not be approved, or some such thing. I don't know, but I just joined, and it's a good way because there will be more of these coming your way.
Yeah, it'll be excellent. Make sure you get in on that. Anybody who wants in. I've been looking for a reason to deny somebody. I haven't had it yet, though. I've got a nice little multi-way pot. Oh, I remember this hand now. Me 3-betting. 3-betting with a... That's... I mean, I got the ace-deuce suited. That's obviously good, but that's a little bit of a loose 3-bet for me. I'm definitely calling the raise, but... Everybody gets in there, and then flop 2 pair, no big deal. Don't want to get the pot too crazy there. I remember feeling snake bit the last time I flopped 2 pair with the ace deuce. Was one of the bigger pots I lost to Joe. But I got to come out betting now. Oh, yeah. Action killer on the river. Action killer there on the river. None of us really have a hand that we can bet. We've got enough equity to not get bluffed or to try to bluff, and we'll just chop it up. Seems fair enough. He's got the low, I got the high. I could have certainly lost that whole pot. I was very vulnerable. Happy to take that down. We are in limit mixed game here, Vic, so I'm not sure it'll quite translate as well. But this is the last hour of the stream here. So
yes, I was just thinking the same thing. We advertised that we were going to 10:15, and actually, I'm not sure if that is exactly true, but if this were any other night, we would be going with the Power Hour. Interesting, though, with this mixed game, you guys played beyond what we recorded before and after, so you guys didn't necessarily feel the pressure of the Power Hour.
We did not feel the pressure of the Power Hour, and I wasn't even actually thinking about the power at all, but you will hear me a couple times. I got the volume, but there's a couple times at the end where I'm like kind of thinking about it, and I'm like, there's not enough game left. I got to win this spot, and end up it makes my decision easy of calling instead. So it definitely matters a little bit.
Okay, all right. So there was some of that influence.
There is some of that. When you know the game ending is on the horizon.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's a home game flop. 6 ways to the flop. We'll parse through these hands as they narrow down a little bit. Dan's betting out with the aces and queens. And a wheel draw. That's a good hand. Aces and queens and a wheel draw. Doesn't have the hearts, though. Big Papa with the nut hearts raises it. Wow. Big Papa. Now that's a hand. Nut flush draw, nut low draw. 5 of hearts gives him everybody's favorite nut. However, it's a deuce. Oh, I remember this hand now. Cody's all in here. It's a deuce. Saved everybody. Madisau and Cody's been running the worst, but that saved them there. Both of them. Rye Dog in the chat. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Thanks for coming out. We got to do a little different show than normal here on this one. We're playing games other than Texas Hold'em. We recorded this early just in case you're a little confused how I'm on the stream and talking to you at the same time. This was recorded earlier. Me and Vic here now to close us out here for the last hour. Cody's all in. This is the first all in we've had while we've been here.
And right now, he is looking to chop both the high and the low with Mattisau.
Yeah, Mattisau comes betting.
And actually, he's going to get a quarter. Which one's going to get the quarter?
3, 5, 6.
Yeah, so Mattisau.
No.
Oh, no,
No,
so there was more betting afterwards. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, there was just a side pot.
Side pot.
But they're going to
Gotcha.
split. They're going to split that because they both got the same high and the same low.
Okay.
A little convoluted way to chop it up, but there it goes, half and half. And there they are. They're both right now. They're talking about how they both have been so unlucky lately, and how that was a miracle deuce to save them both though at the same time. And it was. Right, here we're coming out. Middle again, we're playing these mixed games again. We're on the Omaha high-low. Got the 08 in the upper left-hand corner so you guys can keep track.
And is this pot limit?
This is limit.
Okay.
So people have different theories on how that goes. We like a little bit of both in there. We only have the one no limit game, the deuce to 7. A more popular thing that's starting to become a thing is only big bet mixed games. There'll be mixed games, but it's only no limit or pot limit. So it'll only be deuce to 7 single draw. It'll only be no limit hold'em, pot limit Omaha. If there's a high low, it'll be pot limit high low. All the games are played as a big bet there, which usually leaves stud out. Stud is like the one game that kind of needs to be played limit, and we enjoy stud.
Four-handed going to this flop. And we got King 5 for Mattisau. Diamond draw for Big Papa, but a little one. And who's got the better low?
I got the ace deuce here.
There is going to be a low here, right?
Yep, there's going to be a low. I got the ace deuce right now.
Okay.
As you see, I've got the nuts right now, but if a deuce comes, Cody would counterfeit me. So that's why I'm not 100%.
What if the 3 comes?
If a 3 comes, I'm still good.
Oh, you're still there. Never mind.
Yeah, only a deuce would counterfeit me here. An ace might some other way. I don't quite see it at the moment, but dead for the high though. Again, Cody, second best in both of them. Yeah. Yeah, I ended up making the 2 pair on the river. Sometimes I would, I remember thinking my plan was to check the river. It kind of seemed like one of them might have had ace deuce. I was kind of worried about getting quartered here. But I made the 2 pair on the river and thought there was a good enough chance that sometimes that's good. I wanted to bet out.
But you were more than confident about the low.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've certainly got a part of it.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be betting and then getting raised and only get a quarter of the pot. You can lose a chunk of your money back there. It's still profitable to call when you do, but yeah. And there's Cody. He's just kind of stuck in between it all. He has to pay it off, but it's no good. 2 pair. Mattisau tells me my 2 pair is no good, and we're gonna chop it up. Kings and 8s for Mattisau. Nut low for me. halfway through the Omaha hand here, or Omaha round here. Once again, anybody who's just coming in, these are the mixed games here. We'll get the stud on here for you next time. We need a software upgrade for that. We got that in from the company. Games we're playing today, deuce to 7 triple draw. We're on the Omaha high-low. Badoogie, deuce to 7 single draw. That's played no limit. Badusi, and Big O. That's limit 5 card. High-low Omaha. This is just your traditional version of it. A staple in almost any mixed game, the Omaha high-low. Even some of the more convoluted ones with the weirdest game, this always ends up being in there. Folding around to Mike here. Oh, nice hand for Mike. Suited ace. Ace deuce tray, too.
Man.
Yeah, you'll learn the more you play the Omaha high-low. Having that, even ace deuce with a 4 is really steps up the ace deuce's value a lot. And then obviously here, the one card Mike didn't care about, the 7, is the one that makes trips.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember seeing this hand. Yeah, I mean that's a good fold by T-Bold there.
Yes, it is.
You know.
Yep.
I don't think he has the 7 all the time there, but he knew that the low was dead. Didn't like the rest of his hand. Knew even if he had the best hand at the moment, he would have to fade the other streets when he can't win the low, but could lose the high, and ends up being in terrible shape. And, that's the whole reason you want to fold it right there. He's drawing dead for the low and drawing to a miracle for the high. Good lay down. There we go. Hand number 78 here in our monthly mixed game. We're starting it up. Cody opening it up with a call. Hey, here we go. Here's what I love about this game. 6-way flop. Let's see some action. Not coming out strong here. Look at all these percentage. They're all equal. Cody, the only one with an actual low draw that can do anything. But he ends up even just letting it go. Yeah, good bet by Dan there. Got cleared out some of the way, get some equity, but there's a deuce for T-Bold. That's a scooping deuce, huh?
No, it looks like Matisow has the low.
Oh, there. Yes, I see. I missed one. I saw one check mark.
7-5 instead of
yes
7-6.
Yeah, makes much more sense there.
Yep.
Makes much more sense. Couple more hands, a high-low. We're going to get on to, looks like Badoogi's up next. Another triple draw game. Action's on Madisal first. He's going to open it up. $20 to go. Fine hand for the most part. A little surprising from Madisal though under the gun. Would have felt like he's tighter, but Ace 4 and some diamonds is good. Oh, aces for Big Papa. Oh, I remember this hand now. Aces for Big Papa just calls. There goes Cody. Down to the last couple bucks. He's all in for 30.
Well, he does hit a 10. Rainbow board. And no low yet, right?
No low yet. Just a 5 and 6. There's some low that can get out there. He calls. River.
So Big Papa scoops.
Yeah. The 3-7. The backdoor 3-7 comes in. Cody shows his 10s in disgust. Seemed like he was frustrated in the first place that he couldn't protect him, and there it is. Big Papa taking that down. Nice hand. You know, didn't know how bad he needed that card, but I would have definitely been there at that point. Cody all in the first place. Looks like to be the last hand of Omaha here. Gonna play with just one big blind. Right. Got Mike opening up the action here. Okay. Just to defend Mike a little bit here, in case of the viewers had the same concerns. Yes, he's not taking the mixed game that seriously with the dark glasses. They are prescription. He needs them for the cataracts. He said. Yeah. I forget who it was busting him up a little bit beforehand. He's like, "We're all friends here, coming in with the glasses on." He's like, "Well, I can't see all the cards." Then we're like, "Okay, that makes sense." Oh yeah, here's me. Oh yeah, this hand. We got in 4 bets pre-flop here, me and Joe, and look at that flop.
Wow.
Now my thought is, there's $80 in this pot. Joe 3-bet me. How can he possibly fold? Let me bet $10. And there he goes folding. Let's go.
Look at the look. The look of disgust.
I did not, you know, everybody always slow plays in that spot. And normally I would too, but I just thought.
Yeah.
8-1 right there. You're going to at least take one off. My plan was to check the turn. And
right.
And then if you bet, raise them or bet the river if you called. But anyways, here we go. Oh, we did this wrong. Just the button should have been on seat 2 with the. I know with the dead button it was supposed to be there, but I feel like Mike paid an extra blind that round. Maybe not. I'll have to look at that. Anyway, so we're on to Badoogie. Here's the rules for that. 4 betting rounds. After 4 whole cards are dealt, and each of the 3 draws, a Badoogie is when all 4 cards are of different rank and suit, and the aces play low in this game. Pot goes to the lowest Badoogie, or the lowest 3-card hand if no Badoogie is made, and the nuts equals. Ace, 2, 3, 4, rainbow, all 4 different suits. Again, just to clarify that, a Badoogie, a 4-card Badoogie is 4 cards of different suits and ranks. If one of the cards has the same rank or suit, you'll have a 3-card Badoogie, and the best 3-card Badoogie would win. And there are occasionally cases when you only have 2 cards that are of different suit or ranks from everything else, in which case the best 2-card Badoogie would win. But a 3-card any 3-card beats a 2-card, and every 4-card beats a 3-card. 10-20 limit we're playing, 5-10 blinds. And here's Joe opening it up to 20. He's got the ace 3-4 to start. That's a good one. He's looking for a spade. Josh 3-bets it though. He's already got the Badoogie. He says, "I've got it. You've got basically a flush draw. You're going to pay to get it." And immediately, 8 of spades. Wow. Joe was running a little bit hot today. Not just a spade, but a low one. Excuse me. Josh halfway correctly realizes that his queen high is no good and breaks it. But I think he just ditched the queen, and that's not enough. And yep, now he just folds. It could have really compounded his problem there, and he didn't make it so bad. So there's a spot where the skill comes out a little bit, and Joe shows the beast. 8 low and Badoogie. That's good to get.
With the ace playing low.
With the ace playing low in this game,
Yep.
correct.
Early on, when you were starting to play these mixed games, rather than just playing Badoogie all night or playing several games, did you have to give yourself a little cheat sheet reminder of when the ace was high and when it was low? And
Certainly. Yeah, certainly. Like we said, so right in the middle of the table, we keep the rules for all the players.
Okay.
We've also texted all the rules in the game list to all the players, so they could, since we were allowed, we recorded earlier and allowed phones, they could glance at their phone to see how any rules or stuff like that. The more convoluted games get a little bit harder, certainly, but it's certainly not uncommon to, in the middle of a hand, whether needed to or not, you get up, start, read the rules, make sure you're getting it straight. Legitimately, that is not what we want. If we end up winning a pot because we're playing the wrong game or something, that is not what is wanted. Everybody wants everybody on the same page, and I don't know if it already happened or if it's happening in the future, but there was one hand where we go to the draw and somebody says something, and Dan had already called, and he goes, "Wait, I'm playing the wrong game," and ended up winning the hand because he knew the draw better, figured it out halfway through, and ended up winning the hand. But there's a couple of things we have against that. One, we have the game in front of it. We try to announce out loud too in between rounds when the game changes, so hopefully nobody's lagging behind and whatnot. And as well as so we have this, there's 7 games in the mix, so it was a little harder, but you tend to, when you got stud, it makes it easier. You want to mix up a flop, a draw, and a stud game.
Okay.
And you don't want to go from Omaha with 4 cards to Badoogie with 4 cards.
Okay.
Because the next hand you got 4, you might not click that you're on the new game.
All
so
right.
there are a few things that we try to put in there.
The nuances that help.
The nuances,
Okay.
correct. And for that reason, horse tournaments are often played heroes now. And that's just the order. It's just all the same letters, but it's played in a different order, so
Okay.
it's not the 3 stud games in a row, and people
Right.
get confused that way. So there are a couple things to that, and aside from, there's just nothing wrong with double-checking the rules when in the middle. Good players do it, beginners do it. Especially when you're a beginner, it's almost better if you look at it frequently. You'll never be able to pick up anything from it, so it's not like you're giving away anything. It's not something to be feared. Got that 3-5-6 for me. Trying to get there. Dan, wow. That's what they had. Wow, Dan laid low with that low 7, huh? With that made 7 and a made 9. Wow. I mean, I did have outs, but... And I made my club, but that's no good. As you see me appealing, I look at the suit first to see if it's good. I was like,
Yes.
ooh, a club, and then a face card. I was like, that's probably not good enough. I was just texting, see if this helps. It's a little bit hard to follow. Eye in the Sky I put in the top right corner. That's great. We're on draw 2 right now. It shows the hand breakdown great when we're heads up, but I got lost a couple of times there. Appreciate that, Eye in the Sky. That is perfect.
Wow, nice job, Eye in the Sky.
Yeah, it's perfect.
You can see now they're drawing 3 of 3.
Mm-hmm. But Dan, with the clamp on the hand, finally jumps out. Luckily, I didn't make a hand to call. Here's me squeezing out. If I'd have got the ace of clubs, though, that would have been a winner. But I got the ace of spades. I don't think Dan can, you know. Here I am getting, what is that, 14-1. And I just trust Dan not enough, or enough that he can't be bluffing there.
Right.
With all the people, you really can't be. It would have been suicidal.
So there's another game that we have here from time to time, tournament-wise. We haven't done it in a while, but Pineapple and Crazy Pineapple. Do those games ever fit into this mix?
The short answer is yes, but for some reason, and I don't know why, they seem to be more rare.
Okay.
And actually, when we were talking about the no studs, we had discussed if we were going to put somebody had discussed putting limit hold'em in, and instead of hold'em, we would have done a pineapple variant instead.
Yeah.
But we ended up just going with these games to make it a little simpler and a little straightforward. Make sure we got through all the games, hopefully twice for the stream, and get them explained a little bit more. But certainly, depending on the place, they're in the if it's dealer's choice, they'll be in the mix for sure.
Okay.
And the way a lot of when you get a good group going, the way I like to do it is when you sit down, you pick a game, and that's what goes in the mix. So if there's 8 players, it'll be an 8-game mix. Occasionally, like they do it 2 games if they like a lot of games in there. But that way, everybody's got their favorite game in there, and if they play everybody else's favorite, it all works out well.
Now, in this Badoogie game, you can win with a 3-hand Badoogie,
Yes.
3-card Badoogie, right?
Yep.
So that makes sense that Dan would bet out here, would open for 20.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to have the opportunity to improve his hand by getting rid of the Queen of Diamonds to pick up a spade, hopefully a low one. The straight doesn't work against you in this game, right? And same thing with Mattisau. He can improve by getting rid of the jack, and Big Papa by getting rid of the 2 of hearts.
Honestly, you picked up a little nuance there, Vic, and you're right. How good your 3 card is matters. Like if you if I'm going for a 7 low, and it's 7-6-5, that is just much worse than a 7-3 deuce, because when you're going for a Badoogie and everybody's drawing 1, you're on a flush draw, right?
Yeah.
You're going for 1 suit in order to fill it in there, and that's not going to get there a lot. Now, obviously, the more players in their hand, the more likely there's going to be a 4-card Badoogie, but the 3 cards really matter, and people kind of forget about that sometimes. What's up, Dom? Max Value Variety Night we're getting called right now. Yeah, see, Josh, from the game he's telling you, Vic. See, the rules aren't that hard. You're already picking up strategy as we go.
So Big Papa here hits his 4-card Badoogie.
And a beautiful one.
In a big way.
And a beautiful one. Yeah, because you get aggressive with a queen and a king high Badoogie when you see people drawing, because you want to punish them for drawing to a flush draw that they're 1 and 4 to make. Now, the only good thing about Badoogie compared to an actual flush draw is you don't have your own blockers. You don't have 4 of your own hearts that you want. So you're actually you want what you don't have, which gets it there a little bit a little bit more often. And Mattisau pairs and just has to let it go. Big Papa taking down that Butte. But this seems to be like a favorite amongst, but Badoogie seems to be a decent favorite. It's not played straight Badoogie a lot in the mixes, Badoogie or Badacey. There's 2 different versions.
Right.
But that does seem to be a popular one that's in almost all the mixes. And here, I don't. One thing we didn't notice with the one player sitting out, and this only being a 4-card draw instead of 5-card draw, we just went with no sit-outs. This technically would be a 6-game. We were playing it 6-handed before,
Okay.
but we're just playing it 7. If there was 8, we would definitely have to trim it down.
Okay.
But since he's already out, we just let everybody get dealt in this one. We made a little comment before the round started. No sit-outs. See, and with these games too, I am often, when I'm first in the pot, a raiser or folder, and I know that that's not limping. There is a limping strat in these games more so than a no limit hold'em, and I think Tom does it well. There's a few times it doesn't give away his hand what he's limping with either. It doesn't automatically mean garbage, or it doesn't even mean like a certain range of hands. He does it with some good hands, some bad hands. Doesn't seem to be trash or premiums ever, but I think he does good with his limp sometimes.
Well, he hits his 4-card Badoogie here.
Well, that makes it a lot easier. Jack high Badoogie. Oh, Tom got bluffed in that one. Tom just folded his Badoogie from the aggression from Mike.
Wow.
Yeah, and I don't blame him because I remember this hand now. I kind of wasn't thinking about it at the moment, but I remember this hand now, and I'm surprised to see what I'm seeing from Mike. He's not taking back. The cards just didn't read there. Making sure they get in there. Yeah, and I got a good one.
Yes, you do. Not as good as Tom's, though, had he stayed in. Right?
No, Tom had Jack high.
Oh, he did. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
If he would have stayed and went pat, I would have beat that. I don't know if the cards would have been different. And Big Papa, he had a very good 3-card. It check. If I would have missed, I feel like I would have bet that too as a bluff. So I feel like that was a good call from him. Unlucky for him that I made it there. Oh, there's Tom talking about it. He thought, okay, so a bad play. He wasn't paying attention. He thought Mike went pat before that already. So if he had a 4-card Badoogie, he wouldn't be able to beat the Jack.
Okay.
Yeah, fair enough. I knew he drew, but just bet out. In the moment, I assumed that he had some sort of a pat hand, and then when he drew, I was surprised. So I'll say that to your defense, Tom. I don't think it was as bad as you thought it was, and you didn't want to draw again there, and I don't blame you. Well, yeah, that is one you got bluffed on there. It's interesting. You don't think about the bluffs very often. Give me a second to remember his name. He's going to sit down with us, Vic. But he showed up to one of our games. He's from Cincinnati, just driving through. When one day we were playing the mixed games, and he's just a mixed game player. He came, sat down with us, and it just fit right in.
Wow.
It was he was talking to us about he doesn't like Badoogie though. He was talking to us about that. I was like, listen, we play your bad games, and he was more than happy to. Oh, yeah, James. It was another James. Thank you. James will be in here shortly. Super nice guy. Thrilled to have him there. And that's what we're hoping here. A few more people can get some extra people, some people in there. Anybody who's ever thought about the mixed games. Again, really friendly group. We get some random people all the time.
So Matisow stays pat here with a Badoogie, but it's a pretty big one.
So he discussed this after. He basically has a ace 2 3 card, right? He's got the next best hand would be this. He's got a 4 card, but it can't beat anything. But he sees everybody drawing, and so there's certainly merit into just betting and holding on to that.
And now Joe, though,
Watch this.
and he's going to stand pat again.
No. Well, Mattisau is, but Joe broke because he thought Mattisau had a better hand.
Oh.
So these things.
Wow.
There's other things that can happen. This
wow.
is some. You hear Dom sometimes say first to bluff,
Yeah.
some out of position.
Yeah.
Because Mike had to declare first on this one, he saw he was pat and made him break his jack. He wasn't trying to snow there. He wasn't trying to bluff it. But now
And he
he's
stands pat again,
yeah, he's just.
and he checks his option.
Joe's gonna be frustrated when he sees this. It's just gonna-
Wow.
Yeah, I broke, but yeah.
Huh.
See, aggression works, and it even pays off in limit. Nice hand there
Sure.
by Mattisau. I think I heard him say he broke there, but I didn't think it was like that. Oh yeah, that was Give me a moment. I know her name.
Kennedy?
No.
Oh.
We'll get back to the action here. I know I have it here. With the little boo-boo I told you about. What's her name, Vic? She got the little boo-boo doll. She's played on the stream on the. She came in one time for the cash stream.
With the little dog?
No.
Oh.
Just on her purse, a Labubu. It's like a little doll.
Oh.
I know you know who I'm talking about now.
Yeah.
Give me a second. I'm so mad. We're friends, and I say hi to her every time, and now I'm drawing a blank. But we are still on the Badoogie here. 4-card draw, low ball. We're here for about another 20 minutes. We're going to be winding down. We got Badoogie and then deuce to 7 single draw next. That's our only no limit game. 5-5 blinds with a $5 big blind ante. Here's another one. Josh has got not a proud pat, but nothing to draw, so he'll stay there.
Big Papa's going to draw 2 here. Probably the, boy, that's a tough choice, Big Papa. Let's see which 2 you got rid of. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And here's the third draw of 3 for Big Papa. And again, Josh stays pat.
Draws one, needs to hit a spade.
More than likely got rid of the 4 clubs.
Lisa. Thank
Yes,
you, T-Bold. That was
Lisa.
driving me crazy.
Yep.
I'm so sorry, Lisa. Every time I see you, I'm like, oh, what's up, Lisa? And I'm drawing a complete blank. Yes, Lisa. Yeah, she came in the one time, came over from the tournament, came over with a stack of red chips when we're playing 6-12, a lot of whites. And I'm like, you're welcome, but you know what you're getting into? She goes, a little bit of everything, right? I said, yes. She sat down, and it went great. She had a blast. She was asking about us. I hope she joins us again. That's why Tom, remember, she scooped him in a stud 8 pot with a low and a pair. That's funny. Hey, Colonel, thanks for coming in. What? Just logged in, Colonel. He was playing a deuce to 7 single draw tournament today and bubbled the final table.
Oh, wow.
That works out perfectly. Yeah, we love that game. That's my favorite in the bunch. Yeah, this was recorded earlier. We played today from about 1 to 5. We're winding down here. Got about 20 minutes left. We're going to get these last few hands. And if you look back afterwards, Colonel, we had a whole round of deuce to 7 single draw. And that's the next one. I'm not sure how many hands we get before the end of the recording, but we're going to get a couple of them in. If anybody's wondering what Mike's pointing at there, tournament pro Charlie is out there talking with Dan and having some of our snacks. And you see Madison, oh, get away, there's ours. We had the mini Buckeyes and cookies over there. Oh, yeah, frustrating hand for me here. Start with the 1, 2, 3 different suits. Madisau has got the 9 high already, so I didn't need to get a good one, but Madisau, 9 high doogie. I'm going to get aggressive. Yeah, there's James discussing whether he should get in or not. There he goes. I already feel defeated in this hand. I don't know why. I had 1, 2, 3, the best draw I could have, but I just felt like I knew I couldn't get there. Spoiler, I don't. What, I need a club? A club 9 through 4, that's not many. This is, so here's a little nuance to it, Vic, is people don't realize, they call all these bets because they feel like it's limit, and if they have a legitimate draw to a good hand, but really, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. I've got 5 outs.
Yeah.
You know, I'm much thinner than, well, I could get a 4 too. So 6 outs. But and that's, again, if they're all live, we see the 9 of clubs out there before we even get to that. But your outs in this,
yeah.
Everybody plays Omaha pre-flop because the values run together. You're not that far off. This one, you can be big favorites. All right, bunt moves here to Josh. This is going to be the last hand of Badoogie here for us. Like taking a little peek where we did a little behind the scenes. We had them out of order there. We were about to play a different game after this, and it didn't seem right, so we put them back in the right order. Action coming around to Dan. Dan and T-Bull getting in there. Colonel asking what the average buy-in was. I felt like we got in way deeper than most people would. A lot of us got in. I don't think anybody got in for under 5. Most of us got like 900 or 1,000. But again, in the limit, the buy-in was 200 minimum. Up to whatever you want. It's just limit. the no limit single draw was capped at 250. So as long as you always had 250 bucks in front of you, you couldn't go broke in a hand. Not trying to rub it on Cody. That's the only time it really got there. Got grim.
T-Bolt staying in here and drawing 2, or did that check all the way around? Yeah, it looks like it looked like it checked all the way around.
Yeah, nobody hit all.
So he got a free opportunity there to draw.
Yep, always take it.
And Matisow hits his Badoogie. Big Papa hits his Badoogie. Bet by Matisow on a fold.
Timely fold there on the second draw. He said he'd had enough. He was a little more alive than he thought, but Dan's still drawn. Dan's drawn to a good one, but he needs not a spade. He needed a heart. Matisow bets here. That's not a spot that normally I would bet there. I'm looking to check and call and pick off a bluff. But I say all that when he's going to call with a good 3 card here. That's a good bet. Sometimes you get there and you need to call anyways, and I don't blame that.
So I asked you a little bit ago about the players, particularly the players here at this table, and if they had certain games that they felt a little more proficient at. We just saw Matisow have a really good run through Badoogie. Did you get the impression that that was a good run, or that he was much more comfortable with that game?
Probably both on that one.
Okay.
Looking back and seeing these cards, honestly, I think that was played very well. He might be, I'm sure if he's mixed games there, he might have a little more a little more advantage on the Badoogie. But again, here we go. We're going to the deuce to 7 single draw. 2 rounds of betting after 5 hold cards and 1 draw. The entire pot goes to the lowest hand. There is no qualifier. And aces play high. Straights and flushes do count against you. Best possible hand is our wheel in this. 7, 5, 4, 3 deuce. Once again, no limit. 1 draw. Seat 1 played that James is coming in. He played the deuce to 7 tournament with Colonel.
Oh.
He's getting a little weirded out. What's going on here? Yeah, here's the discussion. Tom was taking a lunch break here, so he was going to sit. We dealt him in here, but he decided he was going to sit out the whole round, so we'll stop dealing him in the rest of the hands. There we go. Joe's going to open it up here. So, not to state the obvious, but there's 2 less draws, so the hand quality of single draw and compared to triple draw is much different. And this is from the little bit I've listened to some people talk about when they're playing this game. This is the type of hand you want for like a middling hand from Joe. You've got the 10s, the 8s, and the 7s that are like the most prominent hands and those type of hands that they keep playing. He can draw to the queen if he wants to, and a 10-8 is just a good hand. But
so Dan is likely going to draw the 8 of spades.
Well, I would draw the 7
or the
because
6
if you do
or the 7.
Yeah, the 6 or the 7. If you do the 8, there's 2 cards that'll make the straight.
But
if you do the 6 or 7, it'll be 1 card. Let's see what he chooses here. If he chooses the 6 here, I'm going to have to talk to him about this and see if I'm missing something. I might be.
And all the players have to put their draw out in front of them, and then the dealer can burn and replace that card.
Yep. Yep, and again, it's just like everything's in order, so even your discards are in order, so you have the advantage on the betting rounds and to see what they want to draw before they do. So that's 2 reasons why the button, we talked about the button importance in limit games a little bit earlier. People may negate it. In this game especially, it might be even more crucial.
Now, Dan improved, but Josh, 976, right, versus the 986
that is
for
correct.
Dan.
And again, these are the spots where...
And Joe still with a decent hand of 10-8-7, right?
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Yeah, they all made their hands. That's kind of rare. Let's see what Joe does here. Yeah. If Josh wouldn't have called, I think he would have called with the 10 high, so Dan was getting paid either way. But Josh calls, and he's got the best hand. Take it down. Nice hand.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are the Reserve in Toledo, Ohio. We have had a very special Saturday night poker show here. We're talking about, as Big Papa was calling it, real poker. And that is a mixed game. And we will be doing this again sometime. Right now we're coming down to the final 2 hands of the night. Please stay with us. We want to talk to you about some of the things that are coming right around the corner here in November. And as always, go to thereservepoker.com and check out all of our tournament information. And then with regards to what you're seeing here tonight, the best way to get involved in this is go to the Facebook and look for the group called Mixed Game Poker Players of Indiana, Michigan, and Ohio. Join that group, and you'll be able to get more information about when this group is playing mixed games and when the next mixed game will be here on the live stream as well.
Yeah, anybody who wants to get in there, we really... That's the first step to really understand where these games are and when we're going to be having them. Get on a list. We'd love to get 2 games of these going. That way we can get a couple different mixes going, and people can have a variety of the different games that can be played. Again, there'll be a lot of stud games that are in most of our mixes. I say a lot, 2 of them probably. And yeah, anybody who's even remotely interested, we'd love to have more players. Again, I've been in several different mixed game groups between Michigan a while ago and Las Vegas while I was out there, and this is, I mean, the friendliest and most accommodating that I've been to, and I don't even say that because the other ones were unfriendly. I've been in some great groups, but this has been a pleasure. Meeting, becoming friends with Joe and getting this mixed game thing going. Joe, Dan, and Cody from Indiana. Everybody else local here, pretty much. Josh from Taylor, even farther out than me, driving downriver. Appreciate him coming all the way down here. Anybody here is from Taylor knows about the Gardner white cop that he has to drive by every day to get home. They camp out at the, there's a little dip down under a bridge, and he camps out at the Gardner White to
Okay.
And if you don't know where you're coming from, you get a little head of steam down that thing, and they get you. We had that discussion earlier. Last hand of the night again. Appreciate everybody coming out. Any last questions? Now's your time. Last chance to hit the thumbs up here. Really appreciate it. Coming around. Just one note that we didn't say this time that we did last time. So again, it's 5-5 blinds with a $5 big blind ante, but there is no limping. If you're a limp-in, would be a raise to 10. That's the minimum that you can do. There at least must be a min race. Keeps the game going.
What do you do here, French? Are you going to draw 2 or 3?
Oh, yep. I was 2. Yep, and the cards were there. Yeah, I drew 2. I got in for, just a half a bet there. It was raised to 10, and I called that. But, I didn't have it particularly like my hand in the first place. But, as we see here, I do manage to call it correctly. We check around, and my statement is, I can beat pairs. turn over my queen high triumphantly. Somebody had an ace and everybody else has got a pair, so I
Yeah.
can beat that.
Yes.
Don't mind getting the last hand of the night there for Frenchie.
Yeah.
And on a good note there, it went south there. Oh, at $1,000 even, I guess I had there. That's funny.
Okay.
Oh, been a blast, Vic. I've really enjoyed this.
Yeah, I'm really glad we had the opportunity to do this. I believe that was the last hand. Was that number 91?
I missed it when
Eye
you
in
said
the
2. I
Sky
missed one. We will see.
Keep us
Might be one more.
on track here.
We do got one more here. Another deuce to 7. Josh not finding anything. At least we get one look at James getting some cards there. Maxim, he had a couple hands here, I guess, but only got to play a couple hands with him, buddy. But good to see him. Glad he's coming out to these. Hopefully, you see him. I'm sure he'll become a regular in these. Oh, here we go.
There we go. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, again, this was very special. We got a few things to remind folks about because, man, one heck of a November coming your way. The grind, $200,000 prize pool guaranteed November 6th through the 9th. This is a $1,000 buy-in. We have had 2 of 5 satellites already, so the next 3 Thursdays you're going to have an opportunity to satellite your way into this game. This is a big one, the grind, because it's 60-minute levels. So go to thereservepoker.com. You can check out this graphic, all the details on the grind, and then overlapping, we are going right into the 2025 Fall Series on Sunday, November 9th, and that is a $20,000 guaranteed kickoff free roll on Sunday.
Yeah.
We did the math on this, Dom and I think everybody else has. So over this period, there's $420,000 guaranteed
Sheesh.
in poker play.
Yes.
And, of course, it culminates into the $250,000 prize pool, mega bounty main tournament. All you got to do is make it into day 2, and then you start knocking people out. You're collecting $1,000.
Everybody loves that.
Oh, my goodness.
That's
And
half
what
a multi-bag.
Yeah, and what a fall series. And then, of course, the biggest single-day tournament that we have every year is the Black Friday Black Chip Bounty. We just talked about the bounty tournament. People love this, and Dom likes to say, don't wait till 11:45 to get here. The doors open at 11 a.m. This is a big, big day for us, and the night before Thanksgiving, there's a chance to get into this one through a satellite, $75 satellite, Wednesday, November 26th. Again, go to thereservepoker.com and check all that out, and be sure to get all of these great dates in November on your calendar. Again,
Pleasure's all mine, Vic. I appreciate you doing this.
Man, I don't know. I'm going to have to do a couple days of not learning anything new because I just crammed so much in my head tonight, and what a pleasure. I'm looking forward to more of this action.
I hope to see everyone in the games. Again, everybody, thanks for checking it out. Anybody interested, check us out on Facebook. Good night and be safe.
Yes, be safe.